Hello, hello, hello. Hello, the trooper. Welcome to the stream or welcome to the video if you're watching this on a later occasion. Let's see. You have a cable in front of your in front of you. I have this HDMI cable going from the computer out to the big television. Because sometimes you might want to watch something out there. Let's get a little bit of Christmas stuff. Why not? It's Christmas, right? Getting close to the 3rd of Advent on Sunday. Christmas time. Christmas time. Yes, I'm older. Tonight we are so many things on my head. Oh my god. Tonight we are going to try out a game called Serialized. The Case of the Serialized Killer. I keep forgetting the case of. The Case of the Serialized Killer. The game is free. Steam. And it's apparently made with watercolors and stuff. And I said, you know, that would be very interesting to observe and see how they've done that. Let's see what they wrote to me. The case. The game so far that I've tried this week has been very interesting. There's been quite a couple of games so far. How many games have I... How many games have we tried? Oh my god. Well, it's not actually that many, but it still feels like it's more than usual. At least for me. And also I'm lagging a little bit behind. I've started having to deal with some other things in life. So, been having to put energy into other things. Let's see, stream schedule. Coding overload or what? Calm down. Are my scenes really that heavy? Don't go bananas on me, please. Keep it together, man. So for streams, oh, it's so tiny I can barely see it. We have had a watch party. We have tried Death and Theology. It was very interesting. We had a lot of fun with that actually. streamed for 3.5 hours because I really wanted to get a better ending. Name of the Wheel yesterday, also very nice and dark and twisted. Had a really cool art style also. Tonight, The Case of the Serialized Killer. It's gonna be more looking at art styles. They've done it in watercolors and stuff. They said that the demo should be, or it's not, it's a free game. It's a full game, free game. It's not a demo even. And it should be under 3 hours. Should is the word. So we'll see how far we go and how well it goes, etc. I will try my best, you know, use my brain cells to maximum capacity, which is hopefully a lot. It depends on the day to the day. To the day to the day. And then we have also the video schedule, right? We have, for example, I released Okami Okami on Tuesday, and that game made me like giggle a lot. I had a lot of fun with that game. I do like romantic games, romantic stories. I read a lot of romantic manga when I was younger. I don't read as much nowadays, but when it does happen, you know, it still pulls me in, you know. And then I also tried Shadow of the Road, which was a very tactical game. And I've never really played a lot of like top-down tactical games, so it was fun to try it out. The story was also very interesting. Sorry for pausing, like I was trying to think through the game again. The story and the character, the graphics, very interesting stuff. I love that they had like in the description texts, they have like highlighted some of the words, and then you can look at that word and you can read like extra information. And the game is set in Japan, which I am, you know, it's something that speaks to me a lot. I'm trying to find a game here. As I said, I am... Wait, how did I get Glasshouse playtest? When did that appear? When did you... what? I know I clicked on like, you know, I wanted to be a part of it. I don't remember installing it. Wait, just have I been? I guess they let me in. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Cool. That's a game we really should try also. It's a shame I wish I had like, you know, even more time. But a lot of these games gonna have to be after the week. Oh, but that's cool. Gap year before the catch us is for Monday. Let's see, where do I have... I'm pretty sure I installed it, right? Did I? Nope. The Case of the Serialized Killer. Ah, shame on me. As I said, I've been lagging behind. I haven't even installed it. Let's hope the internet doesn't die from this, or the stream. But tonight we're trying the Serialized Killer. We got more games to look forward to. I have to record a Death Night show. Hopefully, you know, I will push my sleeping schedule a little bit for this. But to get it recorded and then make an edit, fortunately I do have to... I really hope I will, you know, I can do it. I can do it, manifest. I will push the sleeping schedule a little bit and I will record it. And then tomorrow I do have some meetings I need to go to, and I also need to apply for a thing and fix that. So I could get to it. If I don't make it, I will make a big apology and see what I can do it's not the end of the world, right? I'm still gonna get the video and game out and stuff, so. But it's a shame. A shame. I started lagging behind. I don't know. I was gonna get up this morning and then I didn't really get up. It was one of those mornings again, and I got up at like 10 and then was a little bit slow. And then I had to take a shower also because you can't go without showers for too long. So I had to take a shower, and that also takes a bit of time, and then getting all this hair dried and fixed up, and maybe I spent a little bit too much on, you know, appearance. I don't know. It was a bit of a slow day, so I lost... Efficiently talking, I lost time. Time was not appreciated. But also at the same time, you know, you don't want to stress yourself out to no man's land. But we will do our best to catch up and fix with things and such. I will do my best. There's also a lot of like posting on social medias and stuff. But that also eats a lot of energy and time. I know I stayed up quite late yesterday. Kept posting things here and there. And to a sense I can understand that maybe it's even too much, but I don't know. I'm thinking also after this week is over, I will be able to have a week in a project that I can utilize also in potential resumes and such, and I will be able to, you know, put together a portfolio, use the pictures and stuff, and also, you know, lessons learned, what went well, what didn't go well, what did I learn, and so on, right? All the good stuff that you can usually do. I haven't expected this week to go perfectly. It is a lot of stuff that I've planned in, so a bit of tight time. Tight. Also, again, when you get a little bit tired and stuff, you're not super effective with what you're doing and working with. Let's see here. So today we have also Murky. Was a very fun game. It's now out. Ooh, I haven't put the link for that one. I'm gonna fix that. But here's the picture at least. Murky is out on the YouTube channel. Very fun game, very cute. It's one of those cartoony games, also puzzle narrative types of games with a lot of humor. A lot like Adventure Time, if people have watched that one. Alright, then for tomorrow, the plan is to stream Liver. I don't really know how to say that. Liver, Smoke and Mirrors. A bit of a darker game again. And then the video is planned to be the Death Knight show, and hopefully I will be able to do it. If the demo is on the shorter side, it's definitely doable. If the demo is a bit longer, the time might get very, very tight. So we'll have to see. I will do my best. The stream will happen. The video might lag behind or something. Alright. Let's start setting up for the game. The case of the Serialized killer. This is gonna be very interesting. Again, I've said it in some other streams also. It's very interesting as a game developer myself and such, and as an artist. It's so interesting to also now see so many of these different games. I've played a lot of different games in my life, but now I've really been getting more and more into like a lot of different games and all of these narrative types of games. So it's a big inspiration, and it's not like I don't want to maybe write my own little story or something and create a game in that sense also, you know? The possibilities are there. Okay, brain. Talk and do stuff at the same time. Okay, can I use this scene? It has worked sometimes. And let's see, I will have to We'll have to start the game. And then we'll have to... I will quickly quit it. I will do a little setting thing that I have learned. Just in case. So we're gonna add it to this list. Add selected program. I'm not really sure if you really need this for these types of games, but you never know. It's good to always do this. It's a little bit of like some forced settings. Oh, not that. No. Ah, god damn it. 60 FPS. Fine. It was very good to learn about these settings though. There's probably something more I could do in that list, but I haven't fully learned it. Okay, let's press play. And then... Looks cool. Okay, let's see. I need to change the text. The case of the serialized killer. That's a long name. I wonder if it actually fits in the window. I can turn off the... I wonder if there will be some humor in this one. Game. Case of the killer. Oh, the Christmas trees are going crazy. Transition. The name is very long. Because when it's Serialized Killer, it goes over the arrow and everything, but it works. Now my face is covering again. Maybe I should do a smaller face. I have a pretty big camera. I will flip off the whole stream here. Try to be careful. Can I get the camera? Yeah, that's the camera. I would like to change the size. I can't click it. Why? Why? Why are you messing with me? Why can't I touch it? Is it because I'm streaming? Nah. No, it should work. Come on. If I pull it out of the map then. Okay, it works. Okay, wait. I know what I did. I have locked the whole map. The folder is a folder. It's a folder. I will make my face smaller here. Smaller face. So tiny. Go away. Then it's the frame. Tiny there. That it? Well, it's better, I guess. Smaller face, but the picture they showed, they had a big face and it just covered the whole thing, like a big chunk. But I'll be tiny, and then we'll see. Okay, now we're in the game. Working. Can I see extras? Oh. We can unlock stuff. Yeah. Oh, we can unlock a lot of stuff. Music room. Okay. Oh, mew. Fun. Get some question marks. Interesting. Let's just start. The doors were... maybe I don't need to be as small as I did myself. Whatever. The doors were all locked. Look at that background. It almost looks like it could be a photograph. Why are some people so good at art? The doors were all locked and the windows barred. The afternoon sun barely managed to leak into the dusty mansion. But when the visitor knocked, the sharp sound resounded through the halls. Somewhere, inaudible over the knocking, a pitiful voice let out a groan and called out into the hallway. Clumsy hands pulled the pillow over his face. Ugh, that's so loud. I swear I can't see it. If it doesn't stop, this headache will crack my skull in two. Nice. While one man complained, another was already rushing to answer the door. Faraday. You have a hangover, not a headache. Have mercy, Harley. I can't handle this today. You couldn't handle this yesterday. And I don't think you'll have a lobster's chance in boiling water of handling it tomorrow. Oh. Unsympathetic, but undeterred, Howley Faraday made his way toward the front door. He ignored the other speaker, and they continued whining. He sighed. The moaning wouldn't stop until the knocking did, and Faraday would have to be the one to take care of it. Opening up the door was quite a task. He muttered through a devious set of tongue-twisting charms. Cracked a stick of chalk over the handle, and detached a frankly ludicrous amount of deadbolts. Ah, hello, Regressive. Thank you for raiding. Did you have fun? You were playing Name of the Will. Did you have fun with it? Any interest in the novelty of ritual magic had worn off months ago. Oh, we got ritual magic here. Hey yo, get raided, lol. You did a raid. I still haven't learned or tried out the raiding stuff. The seal broke and crisp air entered, full of the staticky flavor of fall. Holly blinked as his eyes adjusted. He hadn't missed all that sunlight, nor the serious, stiffly disapproving faces of people on the outside. A messenger was standing in the step, letter in hand. Whomever had sent it had paid to have it hand-delivered. Delivery person. Urgent letter for Mr. Ludcale? Ollie raised an eyebrow. They paid to have it hand-delivered, but not, it seemed, enough to know the recipient. Ludicale. Even I need it. Wait. Ludicale. Ludicale? Yeah, I butchered that. Comprehension seemed to dawn on the messenger's face, quickly followed by the inevitable grimace of distaste. I see him. Faraday took a letter from his hand, gave it the once over. It's not a bomb, is it? That got the jerk's attention. No, sir, it's a special invitation. Oh my god, I right-clicked, and that opened the menu. Wow. The personal invitation. Really? Well, tossed my oars. Thanks. Pauli rummaged in his pocket for a tip, and once that transaction was accomplished, set about resealing the door. He didn't want to be responsible for anything escaping. What do you got in house? Soon the business was accomplished. All that was left was to find out what was in the letter. Harry! Quieter, please. Harold. You should get up. Open your mail yourself. Faraday could hear angry muttering as Harold got out of bed. He sounded irate. But at least he was up. I won't do it. I've done 2 before and it's all so terribly demeaning. 2 stocking-clad feet met the ground. Then one of those feet fell to keep balance. And gdunk. And the ground became acquainted with a pair of elbows and a forehead. Ow. See, Seances? Seances? Seances are just a tasteless parlor trick. Seances, how do you say that? Seances. Like I feel like I know what it is, but seances? No, really? Seances. I don't know what it is. Or just a tasteless parlor trick. He clawed his way up the door frame, and Harold Ludicale stood as tall as he momentarily could. How dare they? They're speaking to a true alchemical genius. Hello, Harold. You good? A man who can't control the fabric of the human soul. Holly fluttered the letter at him. Why don't you try to control the fabric of your pants, buddy? Harold took one moment to register his state of undress. And that moment was all it took to puncture what little energy he had. Be that as it may, neither I nor anyone could show up and summon the soul of the dead. Their regrets or outstanding grievances. Perhaps I could summon those? But an eventual presence strong enough to contact might kill the whole lot of them rather than shake the table. Holly sighed again. Maybe it would have been better to leave Harold passed out on the case lounge. After all, Harold couldn't be... I got his English words. After all, Harold couldn't be pedantic while passed out on the chaise lounge. Well, this bell person you say no, then I'll tell this bell person you say no, then. Harold waved a permissive gesture. Good. Don't call me unless the big ones is good. Took a while for anything to filter through the muck in his brain, and as a neuron finally made contact, Harold tripped again. My God, Harold, come on. Bell, as in Bernadette Bell, the author? Holly caught both Harold and the suddenly wild look in his eye. The famous author? Yeah. Managing both Harold and the letter was certainly a handful. But Holly managed to reread the letter, which was to say the letter. It says, Professor Ludicale, I request your presence at a party at my home this coming Saturday. I have heard tell of your incredible research into the supernal science. And I need a man with your expertise for the job. I can trust no one else with this important task. My regards, Bernadette Bell. Harold got to his feet, brushing himself off. Well, it would be the pinnacle of rudeness to decline. So, will you bring business cards to this? Or will you just pass out slips labeled kiss ass so they know your real job? Harold shook his head, hangover suddenly absent. How do you know Belle? She's been serialized for 2 years now. Writes those murder mysteries with the shockingly grisly means of death. Howley shrugged. An associate of hers was just murdered a few days ago. The irony kept it all over the papers. They have no leads at all, claiming an imp might have been the murder weapon. It's creepy to obsess about other people's business. You never know when you might need that information. We wouldn't want to make a fox pass if we met her. Psh, fine. I guess that settles it. Even if you just said seances were fake. I can know what a seance is, but saying the word. it sounds wrong in my head. It means it's more complicated than that. And even if there's very little evidence that they are real, you never know what we might find out in the future. That's a longer way to say fake. So, they want a good ghost story for their party. What's wrong with that? It's not deceptive per se. It's fun for the guests if we all pretend it's real, that's the idea. Holly chuckled. Well, and I'm coming with you. Seeing you lie your ass off sounds like a show I don't want to miss. Plus, they said there'll be dinner. I haven't gotten to eat something I didn't cook myself in ages. Harold chewed the inside of his cheek for a moment before responding. Just promise me you won't embarrass me. Me? With you running around playing pretend about fake ghosts for a scrap of an establishment acknowledgement? You really think I'm going to be an embarrassing one? Well, you don't exactly know how to dress. Holly didn't see fit to dignify that with a response. He turned around and left Harold standing in the hall, in his undergarments. Oh, Harold. You good, Harold? My God. A week later, Faraday and Harold stood dwarfed by the massive mansion of Bernard Bell. Did he really do this with watercolors? This almost looks, you know, more like when you take a photograph and into Photoshop and you use a filter on it and make it look watercolored, and then the other things are watercolored, you know, to get a little bit of help. If they did this in watercolor, that's insane. I know some people are this good, but damn. It does really fit with the characters and stuff, so I don't know, like the trees here look really good. I don't know. Some people are used to it. I'm really curious. Did they do the background also? That's crazy. Thank goodness I bought a big jar of salt. This place is going to need a lot to seal. If you're going to be faking the ghost thing, why bother sealing anything? I'm a professional, Holly. I'm at least capable of sealing a building until sunrise. Sure you can stay up that late? Stepping onto the front porch, their feet passed over a metal grate. The strange device on the floor set off a ringing tone inside the house. Do you think that's an imp doorbell? That seems excessive. Not to mention expensive. Oh, we're taking a break. Or I am taking a break. I need to turn that off. Shut up, Ailio. No break now. Or maybe the place is rigged up with electricity. She must be even richer than I thought. How do I look? Like a mess, Harold. Fine. I really wish you'd have dressed in something nicer. This is nice stuff I have. Plus, it's not like clothes change who you are. Either they like you or they won't. Unsurprisingly, this did nothing at all to assuage Faraday's companion? Associate? Huh. Now there was a question. What was Harry Lucadiddle to him? What even were they anymore? Keeping track of details, socialize was one thing, but by this point, even finding a true label was beyond Faraday's capabilities. Especially because he really didn't want to think about any of that right now. Just say I'm your assistant, they won't care then. Is he sad? Oh, that only made it worse. Faraday tried again. So you read a few books of hers this week, right? Well, I read a bit. Define a bit. I fell asleep on the third page. I usually like seafaring stories, but it was so dreary. Don't look at me like that. There's going to be a play soon. I'll simply watch that when it comes out. But the short stories are good. I'm certain they are. You can tell me all about how the book was better once we have seen the show. Look, the first one sucks. She's clearly never been on a boat before. But they get a lot better. Do they now? I wanted to come prepared, so I read a few. There was the sound of movement behind the door. Oh, the host herself, Bernadette Bell, opened the door. A robust woman in fashionable dress. There was a touch of tiredness in her gaze and a rasp in her throat. A stern, elderly figure stood behind her. Bell. Oh, it's... I don't know. They seem so fed up with each other. Yeah, it seems something has happened. I wonder if we will get like a backstory or something. We don't even have answers to like what's their connection, you know? Were they together? Were they an item? Are they just friends? Co-workers? Oh, it's I will never be able to say the name. I need that spelling again, like Ludicasel. Oh, it's Dr. Ludicasel. Ludicale. I'm sorry to keep you waiting. I haven't been feeling up to snuff lately. Ah, it's no trouble, Miss Berlin. Please call me Harold. Harold it is, and I'm glad you could make it. It might have been rather short notice, but for you, anything. I must confess to being something of a fan. Really? I know. And this is my assistant, Holly Faraday. Don't worry, I understand how valuable good help is. This is my editor, Debbie Vance. Vance extended her wrist towards Harold. Her dress and demeanor were both firmly rooted in the prior century. I was... What voice should you? I was the one who told her about your work. Harold, no stranger to dusty old customs, kissed the back of Vance's hand. A pleasure to meet you both. Come on in, don't you stand out here. I want to get started as soon as everyone else has arrived. Is this all made by hand? Crazy. Miss Will, I need some time, to prepare. I love that you kept this whole thing very mysterious. It suits a mystery writer like yourself. But I do need to know whom I'll be summoning. Sweat. My friend, Gareth Canterbury. Such a recent death might be difficult to summon. If you can't do it, then please tell me now. I meant for an amateur it would be impossible. But for an experienced summoner like me, it should be a problem. Faraday leaned in to whisper. Harry, how the hell are you going to fake? Harold is back softly. Have you ever heard of a hot rating? Harold puffed his chest out. He seemed filled head to toe with confidence. Instead of trepidation and gin. We need to get a list of the deceased's personal traits and attachments so we can contact her properly. Faraday, take some notes for me. Harold thrust the leather-bound journal into Faraday's hands. Wait, this notebook is... Then he folded to a new page and started to write. Sometimes Faraday will take notes on the people around him. These notes can be accessed anytime by clicking the journal icon to the right of the text box. All his notes will be kept here. Okay. Click the page corners of the tabs to navigate the journal. Okay. Click the close button to return back to the game. Okay. Equilibris. If found, please return to Harold. People. Gareth Canterbury. She, her, friend of Belle, recently murdered. Damn. Whoa. Wait a minute. Ollie Faraday. He, him. Undiscovered demonologist. Oh, he plays demonologist? Incredible work. My assistant professor. Don't say his name around the docks. Gay? Not even a question mark. Gay? Cute smile. He likes... Then it's... crossed over everything. Shut up, shut up. Ask him to come back, coward. Shut up, shut up. Apologize. He likes mulled cider. Ask him out for a drink. I guess they are an interesting nature. Okay. So they have some type of interest in each other-ish. Something happened. Drama. Bill turned to Vance for a moment, and while she was distracted, Faraday hissed a whisper to Harold. Why are there notes on me? Oh, well, I started assembling all my notes on people into one notebook. Easy to keep on hand. Ali rolled his eyes, and sarcasm dripped from his tone. Of course, that makes perfect sense. No, it doesn't. Most people don't think to keep an insane little dossier of everyone they pass by. Well, my memory isn't what it used to be. What if I slip up and say something that accidentally touches upon a sore nerve and they never forgive me? Faraday took to furiously scribbling. What did you write now? Harold Ludicale, he, him, orientation, desperate. Jerk, usually intoxicated and moping, one of the most influential demonologists of the era, but has no motivation. His house is full of nightmares that are a pain in the ass to deal with, but he's the most notable one. Damn. Oh, he'll be angry, Faraday. Harold looked over Howley's shoulder and watched him write. Oh, very mature. While you're at it, add snores in his sleep to your page. Aha! Those laughter cut through their squall. Don't you agree, Harold? Absolutely! Quite amusing! Harold had no idea what she'd been discussing with Vance, but people always like to hear that they were funny. Miss Bell, I hate to divert you back towards a sensitive subject, but could you tell me a little bit about your friend's career? It's important that I know what might tie her to this mortal plane. Bell didn't miss a beat, pride in her eyes as she responded. She was a fabulous illustrator. She worked on cover art for The Chain. Faraday leaned towards Harold to whisper. The Chain? Is the magazine her stories are serialized in? So would you say she liked the job? Loved it. She and I would head out to find scenes for her to paint while I did some rough drafting. She and I met when she had to illustrate something from one of my stories for the cover. She took a lot of pride in her work. Some people even collected the journals just for their covers. Quite a feat to say. Sometimes the journals sold just because of her artwork. That's pretty amazing. She wasn't well liked by the heads of the journal. She just told it like it is. Management always hates that. I just wanted to be clear. Maybe the job didn't love her as much as she loved it. I suppose. Popular illustrator worked for The Chain, disliked by her bosses, tells it like it is. Oh. Bernadette Bell. I like these sketch pictures. Tonight's host writes the popular Constance Little Bear series of mysteries. Harry, if you're reading this, the train one is great. Hint, hint. Alright. In the parlor, there were two guests already chatting away. Get more people. Or rather, one of them was endlessly, excitingly prattling on. Whoa. You got a hole in your chest, dude. While the other loomed, silent. Faraday and Hal attempted not to stare. They failed, utterly. Yeah, me too. Bell followed the gaze and chimed in. May I present Goose Downey. They were here to help me with some details about future writing ideas. They're a hitman. ... Inspiration is vital for a good story. And who would know more about murder than that? Smart. So tacky. Faraday took note of the new guests. He's good at taking notes. Goose Downey, they them. You get little vampire teeth. A hitman? Here for Bell's research? Okay. The doorbell rang and Bell grabbed Vance's hand. Oh, another arrival! And with that, Bell herded Vance away, sounding slightly winded. I gotta go eat food. Hope you have fun with the rest of the game. It looks interesting. If you don't have anyone else to raid, I'll be back on with Psycho Sleuth around 3 p.m. Alright, I will see if I can fix with a raid. I still haven't learned how to do it, but I don't think it's too complicated. But enjoy your food, and I will see what happens. This game is pretty long, so you know it should time decently. I'll see if I manage to do it. Okay. I want to make an annoying voice for But maybe I shouldn't go too overboard. Finally, I was starting to think it would be just me and this guy all night. The taller person said nothing, but the lack of response did not seem to slow the woman down. So, who do we have here? 2 of you, right? She prodded at them with her cane, whacking them about the ankles. Or is it just one person with a really big imp? Oh, no, it's 2 of us. So you can speak. Well, that's helpful. Yes, I'm Dr. Harold Ludicale, and I'll be performing the seance this evening. Man, she wasn't kidding when she said she was getting an expert. Harold beamed. Shame it had to be you, though. Ugh. And who do you think you are? Harold did his best to shush Faroe. But the woman heard him anyway and could scarcely hold back a peal of arrogant laughter. Me, I'm Deleuze. Deleuze. Harry gave an audible groan of disappointment, which only served to make her grin even more broadly. Yep, that Deleuze. If you've seen a ship with our marking, then I designed it. Even if you haven't seen the marking, we made half the ships in the harbor. So, you know, you're welcome. For like all the free trade you enjoy each day. Faraday gritted his teeth and decided not to let the shipwright get away with the slight. Big deal, so you made 1 or 200 ships. Good for you. I've been on better. Oh, big words, mister. It's Faraday, Harley Faraday. Della shrugged. Never heard of you. Faraday sucked in a breath to tell Deluxe exactly who it was. But Harold shifted a hand and gave him a desperate, pleading look. Instead, he looked down the journal sullenly and scrawled his ire into it instead of saying anything aloud. Get your anger out in the journal. Pronounced Dia. Dia Deleuze. Dia Deleuze. Shipwright thinks she's so special because she's economically noteworthy. Harry turned to the taller fellow, hoping to have a little more luck with them. Hello, a pleasure to meet you. The figure gave the slightest of nods, and then stared at Harold, offering no further greeting or conversation. Harry's mind and half a dozen different reasons why Goose might choose to commit this social slight, and how each of them were probably Harold's own fault. He was so wrapped up in preemptive guilt that they almost missed it when they did speak. Hey. Probably a very deep voice. Hey. A great listener, this one. I was just telling them about how marriage is a scam. Harold did not have time to ask what could have caused such a topic to come up. He just got straight to nodding. Ah, yes, spending your life with just one person would be so limiting. ... I disagree. Commitment is nice. That's not to say that life partnership doesn't have its upsides. Trying to please everyone. Faraday rolls his eyes. You getting this over there? Miss Dilly, do you happen to know anything about Garrett Caterbury? Just that she died and people keep talking about it. Dia Deleuze gave a carefree shrug. How about you, Goosey? Wasn't me. Outside the room there was a lilting melodic cry of joy. Deleuze had turned attentively. Please tell me that's who it sounds like it is. The sound of fawning excitement traveled down the hall. And before long the host arrived, her next guest in tow. Oh, cute. The door swung open, revealing a figure swathed in pink silks and sheer beaded fabric. Her eyes shone with abundant delight. Harold gave a slight gasp of enthusiasm. It's Clarice Mia Myers. Who? If you can't take an interest in current events, we'll never have anything to talk about. We could talk about the current state of mold in your kitchen. Oh, your parlor is beautiful. Is it the inspiration for Duchess Baker's parlor? How could you tell? I have been rereading all of her scenes. The way the bookshelf is positioned. And the pattern of the chair. Yes, I picture her scheming all of her nefarious plots right in that chair over there. Ah, bonding. The energetic young lady crossed the room to run her hand along the fabric of the arm. Oh, it gives me a perfectly wicked vibe. Can I sit in it? You certainly can. The young lady settled into the chair, and the innocent features on her face contorted into a sinister glare. She threw back her head and gave a laugh so chilling, goosebumps rose on the back of Faraday's neck. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Try as you might for as long as you live, you'll never prove it was me, Constance Little Bear. Bell jaws dropped. Exactly how I imagined her. I love it. Miss Myers, I think you're disturbing the other guests. The young lady hopped up from the chair, eyes once again wide and apologetic. I'm so sorry, everyone. I'm just so thrilled to see it for myself. No, Debbie, stop being such a spoil sport. Miss me? Miss Myers, I couldn't have asked the director to cast a better Duchess. Yeah, are you kidding? A pure preview performance right here? Sounds like she knows how to party, unlike the rest of you chimps. Thea poked Goose in the knee with her cane. When are you going to start doing an evil laugh? That seems like something a real hitman would have. Better if they don't hear you coming. True. This guy is starting to creep me out. Hush, don't let them hear you. Belle and Myers, however, were still off in their own little world, fawning over each other. Oh, I hate to be a butter, but Miss Belle, can I please have you sign off this copy of the chain? I have all of the ones with your stories in them, but this one is my favorite. Constance racing to solve the murder before the train pulls into the next station, all while knowing she might be found by the conductor. It was so thrilling. Belle took the less than pristine magazine and unclipped a gleaming bronze fountain pen from her pocket. Her signature was large and loopy in a striking indigo pink. I use this pen for all my manuscript too. This ink just seems like it makes my pen flow faster. Myers' eyes sparkled with admiration as she took the signed copy back. She stared in awe as she had just seen magic. Belle seemed to remember that the rest of the guests were there. Oh, let me introduce Miss Clarice. Clarice Myers! Loved you in that one with the flower girl and the elocution lessons. Elise hopped to the front of the group, quickly shaking Myers' hand. Didn't think you had a villain in you, but you sure proved me wrong. Oh, thank you. I promise I can be very evil when I want to be. Vance looked over Clarice. Okay, what more do we have now? Wasn't them? Question mark? Clarice Myers, she her stage actress, a big fan of Belle, evil laugh? Question mark? She's going to make a killer Duchess Baker. Vance looked over Clarice, finally giving an approving nod. My dear, have you wearing your imp in your hat? Oh yes, I'm awfully glad that someone noticed. It's all the fashion uptown. Watch! The small creature rose from her hat, and quietly, with the poise of a ballerina, began to dance. Oh. That's what an imp is? Clarice Myers sang, a crystalline soprano wearing a hauntingly pretty melody. The others all stopped what they were doing and crowded around to watch them perform. Vance smiled and Deleuze stopped fidgeting and ear turned intently up to listen. The little imp moved with grace, elegance, and far too many joints. After a moment, however... Oh, uh-oh. Harold crossed the room quickly, pulling chalk from his jacket pocket. Miss, allow me to... Myers did not let a hint of awkwardness or effrontery show. Oh dear, don't mind. That happens all the time. See? See, she can make a new one. The little imp placed a tiny hand to its cheek as if laughing off embarrassment. And his mask reformed. Oh. Ah, what a clever little trick. The imp bowed and hid away, back among the flower of Myers' hat. Harold slunk back over to Faraday's side. Do you think it's okay? Though he had whispered, Deleuze must have been feeling particularly nosy because she chirped up for all to hear. Of course she's okay. Everybody seems to do weird stuff sometimes. It doesn't mean anything. Quite right. One look at that beautiful imp and one can easily tell that it harbors a beautiful soul. The imp is the pure expression of an artist's creative drive, her ability. One shouldn't trivialize it. There was general agreement amidst the room, and the others took to chatting. Harold wandered over to the far corner and wondered if he could summon something that could drag him straight off the face of the earth. Is that really what people think nowadays? That imps are their creativity? Their souls? Oh, so they're in disagreement? They break them out for fun little shows? You were gone a while, Havley. You did all that research and the public just traded one life for another? Look, this journal you got me writing in. It's my old notebook. I'll just open it up and show them my notes. Leave it be. Her imp is advanced, to be sure, but maybe nothing will happen. If you try to tell them this darling of the stage has a demon, that if she uses it like this, it will make it stronger and more dangerous, will be mocked and maybe even forcibly removed. Aren't we responsible for just trying to correct them? If someone gets hurt and we said nothing. Faraday was no stranger to Harold's haggard, tired expressions. But as Harold looked at him, his eyes communicated a fatigue so deep it must have taken years to accumulate. I hate this city. They'd eat a rock if you told them he was an oyster. Yum. Oh no. Okay, let's look more at people first. Okay, nothing. Notes. Should have a good time. So, to summarize the points for the presentation, demons aren't just the big monsters that lurk in the woods or destroy small villagers. Everyone might even have a really tiny demon running around hiding their keys or eating their socks or something. We humans contribute to them via negative emotions. The difference between a harmless or a harmful demon is how powerful we let them get. But what if, pause for effect, we could put the demons someplace where they can't feed off us? Professor Lidicale has developed a system for capturing renegade or stray demons. We can use sealing alchemy to confine demons to objects or locations. But we absolutely must take responsibility for our own demons. The professor's goal is for each person to have the option to seal their own demon deep within themselves. The professor has already successfully done this on 2 people. It's a I thought it was a C. Show photographs of my eyes. Have the professor comment on his own suppression once it's done. Let's get it funding. Meeting went too well. They refused to treat the process as a medical procedure. Talking about rebranding demons. Harry said that we should be open to whatever gets us the funds we need. I'm not going to lie to these assholes for money. Screw this. Interesting. Howl's notes on imps and demons are available to read. Let's get out of this room and start sealing the mansion. Good idea. If I have to spend one more minute in there, I'm going to lose it. Ooh. rooms. Kitchen, office, and boiler room. Okay. Boiler room. They took a staircase down and found themselves in a boiler room. Harold got right to work, while Faraday lingered, peering over the railing. Harold hurried over the windows and set to sealing them. Had he been in front of a classroom, he might have added a touch of flourish to his hand motions. He would have explained the process in affectionate detail and call out his words loudly, emphasizing unnecessary syllables in order to add pomp and majesty. But instead, he huffed 3 quick breaths onto the small window and traced symbols in the fog glass. He closed his eyes and focused on the roiling, abundant anxiety within his gut, and without a word, pressed it all down. The glass grew hot under his touch. A quick dash of salt, and he was done. One more seal down, while Faraday lingered, peering over the railing. The boiler was immense, large enough to fit a carriage inside. That's a big boiler. Why make a room like this so big? It's a big house, but it is quite something to look at. It must cost a lot to heat this place. Can we heat your place more this winter? If this job leads to another one, maybe. If you say no, then I'm sleeping in your bed. You stay in your own room. Wink. Office. This must be where she writes. Good to know at least one room here isn't just for decoration. Not everything has to be utilitarian. It does in a ship. You're such a braggart. Gallivanting off on ocean travels, while the rest of us are stuck boarding ourselves up in a dry study. It's not like I got a lot of time above deck. You think I had a lovely time working on my tan? And you don't even have the grace to look back on it fondly. You're a fundamentally ungrateful person. Says the guy who hasn't washed his own laundry in 3 months. Harold said about sealing these windows too. While he was deep in concentration, woo! Woohoo! You boys already got in here. I came up to the door for you. I usually leave this room locked. I'm so sorry. I had no idea. We were just about to finish up here. It's quite alright. I leave anything important double locked. You wouldn't have found it even if you tried. Hehe. Okay. Harold's teeth were grinding loud enough for Belle to hear them across the room. Please, Dr. Ludikill. You don't need to be so on edge all the time. I assure you, I'm already aware of your history, but I have the utmost confidence. Well, I think that Faraday can handle this room on his own. I'll just head along, shall I? Faraday sprinkled down a last line of salt along the windowsill, and Harry rushed out of the room, cheeks burning with shame. Belle carefully relocked the room behind him and tucked the key into her sleeve. Okay, a little awkward there. Kitchen. Of all the ridiculous. Vance put her hand down on a piece of paper when they entered, but left a small, vibrantly violet corner visible. When she moved to grasp it the rest of the way, she dropped it. Faraday rushed over to pick it up. It says, Bernadette Bell, tonight we are coming to steal. Vance snatched it away and crumpled the paper up. I'm sorry, this is a letter that was slipped under the door. Miss Bell didn't want it to distract from the party tonight, so she asked me to get rid of it. Yeah, the thing sure looks like some distraction. She gets threats sometimes. It's nothing serious. Well, I will be finished sealing this place in a bit. It will mean no one can leave or enter, so she should be safe. Vance did not seem mollified by this. She waved her hand. Oh, let that soup boil over. Of course. Harold nearly fell over the table in his rush to comply. Not you, the help. Or rather, the other help. Harold watched as an imp the size of a very large oven bumbled by. What the hell? It walked slowly as if moving at all was a chore. The heat emanating from it, even from yards away, made Faraday start to sweat. It opened his mouth and a whistling filled the room. Faraday grimaced and covered his ears. The large imp removed a tea kettle, poured a cup and put the kettle back in his mouth. As soon as his mouth was closed, the sound stopped. Vance took the cup, sipping it and surveying the room. On the table, a knife-like imp was chopping some form of leafy garnish. Oh, it's a little sad face there. Oh, a knife flying all over the place on his own. Watching that isn't disconcerting in the least. You needn't fear. It is all well under control. So the height of the technology allows people to finally take a good hard look inside, and what have we done? Sold them to the highest bidder? What's next? Legalizing the black market for organs? These are just rental imps. Some hardworking people, through no fault of their own, very much need that money. Belle considers it magnanimous to at least help those people with their debts. She rents from these people often, but they go back to their originators after a month. It's their decision if they want to rent them out again. It's messed up either way. Vance turned away to check back in on the other imp that was washing dishes. Dinner is almost ready. If you don't hurry, the food will be cold for everyone. Harold finished sealing the windows, and the two men left. As the two returned to the parlor, they found Clarice admiring the decor. Miss Myers, do you know anything about Carrot Canterbury? The illustrator? She was Miss Bell's dearest confidant, and she was murdered. Terrible how the papers keep sensationalizing it and hounding her for interviews. Jake Clara has nothing to do with it. And yet they're harassing her just because she is famous and writes about murders. All just to sell papers. It's so heartbreaking. Thank you. It's disgusting that people want to wring money out of others people's tragedies. Dreadful. I feel so sorry for Miss Bell. I hope you will all be gentle with her feelings tonight. She's probably trying to take her mind off that whole thing. Holly clicked his tongue. I don't think she is. She hired me to summon her ghost. That seems so ghoulish. Well, literally. Whoa! This party's getting better every minute. And it will only improve now that I'm here, gorgeous. The group turned to see the new arrival. Oh, sorry. I'm admittedly intrigued, but that's a big talk. A man waltzes into the room with the utmost confidence. Oh my god. Cat, elf, something. He sported coiffed hair, a lilac waistcoat that was so out of style it bordered on a kind of archaic cheek, and a pair of long tapered ears. Cosplayer? Faraday barely noticed the others enter the room. Vance supported a slightly winded Belle on her arm, helping her into a chair. Oh, she's tired. With this guy. Being too boring would literally kill me, so I'm very motivated. Oh, your ears. Are you a fae? I've only heard about them in books. What do his hair looks like? They prodded Goose again with her cane, prompting them on. Cute. Subjective descriptions don't help. Cute. They're pointy. And very charming. Charming is subjective. Nonsense. Charming is objectively very, very me. I'm looping flowers. And no, this isn't every day you meet a fae. Vance squinted at Lupin. I don't actually remember inviting you. Well, I right-clicked again. I wasn't invited, but I thought that was rude. Such a collection of adorable people and me not invited? Shame! Plus, I was friends with Canterbury. Gary was good to me. I found out you were going to be contacting her tonight. Called me romantic, but I couldn't miss the last chance at seeing her. It couldn't hurt. And Garrett was so quiet. I didn't even know she had any other friends. It's really a pleasure to have you here. Well, if you're certain. Debbie, shouldn't you know better than anyone else never to turn away a fae? Nonsense. As an expert, I know that fae are all sweet, adorable, wholesome creatures. They are born amidst the cabbage patch and tenderly rock the children to sleep at night. Where did you get that nonsense? It sounds like something out of a Deborah Vance storybook. Can you get dinner started, Debbie? You have the cooking and serving imps in the kitchen, don't you? Of course. Please be careful. Lupin bounced on his toes and turned to Belle with a friendly grin. What an odd pair, you and her. Her books are all stuffy, plotless fairy stories, and you write exciting, gruesome murders. Witnessing such a wild fox pass, Harold was white in the face, murmuring. He knew that she was Deborah Vance and still said that to her face. Oh God. I agree. Oh God. Little prissy Miss Cabbage Patch edits your tales of murder. Ha! Lupin, you're a little bit of a rude bitch. You're just full of such wonderfully vibrant ideas. I can see it in your eyes and in your writing. Lupin looked at Belle with the most adoring smile to accompany the compliment. Whatever could a frump like that bring to the table that you didn't already have in spades? Oh! Myers hopped like a child in the classroom, one eager to be called on by the teacher. Miss Belle, do you mind if I tell him? Go ahead, dear. It's infinitely more fun to hear my accomplishments coming from someone else's mouth. Myers dove in. Miss Belle published the first mystery under pen name. You see, she wasn't confident in her work. Though the first one wasn't a major hit, it got people excited about the characters, and she started to write more stories. A couple of years ago, she got picked up by the chain. That's when I found out about her. That's when I started reading her as well. You can get the chain in Arcadia, if you know the right guys. Well, eventually Miss Belle felt confident enough to reveal her real name. Miss Belle was a brand new writer, but as you know, Miss Vance has been around for about 100 years. Looking at those crow's feet. You only get broke grease that bad from scowling all the time. Miss Vance has been around for a while longer, so she has a lot of publishing connections, and she helped Miss Belle get into the industry. Faraday balanced the journal against his arm to add more. When Faraday looked up, Lupin was already behind him, peering over his shoulder. Ah! Another cute writer. I'm going to get overstuffed with stories tonight. They're just notes. Oh, are you casing the joint? Belle does have some amazing things, though. She's been collecting occult items. That's what I read. You can see some in her gorgeous curio case over there. The loose scolded goose. You didn't tell me about what's in the curio case? I didn't look. Well, how about I give you all a tour? Yes, give us a tour. These pair of silver rods are supposed to be useful for finding hidden items. This spike is my most recent purchase. The seller said it was the tooth of a toxic shark demon. Ooh, goosey. Is it stained with blood? Goose grinned. Nah, but it's about the size of your fist. Whoa! This set of candles is from the first successful angel summoning. Faraday leaned over to whisper to Harold. That's not a thing, right? Some demons are good liars. These coins are said to be clues that lead to a treasure map. Something for me to keep busy with once I retire, I suppose. invite me along for that one. I definitely want treasure discovery on my resume. Down here is a device that reacts to ghostly presence. I plan to test it tonight. Ooh. Miss Bell, please don't get your hopes up. Devices like that tend to be completely fake. Unlike Harry here. ... Faraday muttered under his breath. This last one is a personal favorite. It's a listening device that can pick up people's inner thoughts that are floating around in the air. I have heard a lot of very interesting things in the ether. Incredible, but you must hear such strange things. They can be strange and difficult to decipher, but they really can push me right through when I'm feeling stuck. The inner mind is such an intriguing place. With others distracted, Harold shook his head in disbelief. The doorbell chimed again, and Belle smiled as she excused herself. Another one. Most of the group stayed crowded around the case, admiring the items, but Faraday and Harold pulled back to talk privately. If you're going to be selling fake seances, then we might as well get into the fake artifact business too. Demon sharks. Harley curled his fingers and with both hands pantomimed a large pair of jaws. He jumped in on Harold's arm. Jump, jump. For the briefest of moments, Harold smiled, but he quickly gave way to his usual demeanor. I certainly hope they're all fake. What if one of those were actually someone's severed imp? The ones in the kitchen are bad enough, but at least they're under Vance's control. Nobody's approved and rented out the stuff in the cabinets. If one got up and got loose... Speaking of getting loose, maybe we should get to sealing those windows. I don't want to miss dinner because I'm hanging off the roof putting salt down for you. I want to at least meet all the guests first. And we have barely found out anything at all about Canterbury. True, I guess you need to make this as convincing as possible. Though, looking at the case, she seems like she's the type to believe you can move without rowing. Hey! Harold narrowly avoided both a heart attack and a face plant straight into Faraday's sweater. We'll be right back. I'm going off on a little unauthorized tour with a cutie on my arm. Okay. No telling, okay? You only get to peek into other people's houses on a rare occasion. Oh, sneaky. The loser Lupin slid out of the room before anyone could give any kind of objection. Damn, that Faye was the only one who claimed he knew Canterbury. It would be great to know what kind of thing Belle's expecting to ask her. I would assume it's something about the murder. That or confessing some sort of feelings. That would be a lot easier. If not more ethical. Bernard Bells re-entered the room for just a moment, followed by a formally dressed military man. His boots made a loud, crisp sound as he walked. Unless we are graced by more Fae, this is our final guest, Lieutenant Merrick Novak. The man now darkened the parlor doorway caused Howley to narrow his eyes. You know him? When you've been at sea as long as I have, you know one, you know them all. Novak shot Clarice a smile. It's good to see that I have some other guests I can recognize. I went to see your first show on a date with the woman who would be my future wife. She loves your work. Ah, sweet. Have you got yourself someone special? Oh no, I'm not interested in that kind of thing. At least not in real life. A girl as pretty as you. You're very flattering, Lieutenant. But as I said, I'm not really interested. You don't have to come with excuses. Like I said, you look very... She couldn't afford a Duchess tea, let alone upkeep her lifestyle. Okay, lifestyle. I must go. My flock of peacocks requires a good, solid tooting. Myers skipped out the door. Novak made to follow. But Faraday moved quickly in the way. Hey, Novak, didn't you say you were married? Butt out. What does it matter to you who she is or isn't interested? To you who she is or isn't interested in? No, I was talking to you, Porky. You're the Porky one, water pig. Are they gonna fight? Novak stepped towards Faraday. who stared him down right back. The metals on Lieutenant Noak's chest shifted. What the hell? Opening to reveal a scramble of glaring eyes. Step aside or I'll step on you. Faraday's ankle jerked aside at an odd angle, and he barely kept it from twisting. His hands trembled. Leave her alone. Luckily for Faraday, Bell chose that moment to return to the parlor. Lieutenant Noak, I ask you to please not use your imp on my guests. Of course, Miss Bell. That's one dangerous creature. They're all dangerous. Not at all. It only helps make sure people will listen to what they're told. It's essential to have discipline in the military. But we're not in the military. I was just giving him a little scare as a joke. I wasn't gonna do anything. We're all friends here. Marek showed Faraday a bit roughly, knocking him off balance. Harry managed to catch his arm. Harry, don't make a scene. I don't think I could if I wanted to. What the hell kind of species is that? See, he's fine. So you said all imps are dangerous? Of course, any imp could destroy a man. Well, I assume that means yours is quite ferocious. Because if you had a demon, I'd have to do my duty by the law. I just see things. Noah gave a low, deep chuckle. I will be sure to beware then. Harry cleared his throat and tried to pull his friend aside, out of the line of fire. We should probably finish getting the place sealed. I'll take my assistant with me. Harold gave an apologetic smile to Belle. Belle returned it with a warm glance of her own. It shone genuine. Thank you, Dr. Ludicale. Ludicale? That Ludicale? Isn't he under house arrest? Hush, hush, hush. Laughter interrupted from outside of the parlor. Whatever Noak had been about to say, he was soon miles away. His attention had been completely diverted. I'll show you, because I really mean anywhere I'm locked out of. Bam! Dear, so good to see you. At the sound of Lieutenant Noak's voice, Delos froze and turned to walk right back out of the way she came. So, Mr. Flowers, need a light for your cigarettes? No, oh no, you'll be amazed at what I can do with fire. Let's find a big room and I'll show you. Faraday smirked as they left. 2 for 2 with the ladies tonight, huh? Seems like she's not that into you, deckhand. She's just being playful. It's her way. Holly, let's go. Harold picked up his large container of salt and the pair left the room. Man, the drama. I want to tie that guy to an anchor and throw him into a raging storm. As far as I could tell, it seemed like Deleuze would probably help you. So would most of my old crewmates. You know, the Taylor ratio is all off here. Too much law. What if we called in some of them? Please don't get us into trouble here, Holly. You promised you weren't going to embarrass me. Sorry, I didn't know that it was embarrassing to stand up for yourself. You know what I mean. They'll get in Noak's face and make a big scene. You might not have a spine, but I can still locate mine. It's in my back. An officer like that could actually hurt us. He could hurt you. Yeah. Fine. I'll try not to rile him up. But if he starts it, I can't promise I won't fight back. Mom and the rest of the crew didn't raise me to bow to guys like that. Strong Mom. They finished sealing the mansion. They were barely done before it was time for dinner. Dinner time. Did they write anything about him? Like he's a bitch. Dun, 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 dun. Looping Flowers see him. A Fae, friends with Canterbury. Deborah Vance, she heard Bell's editor, good publishing connections. Lieutenant Marek Noak, he him. Navy guy, pushy. His imp can force you to do things? Ooh. That's scary. Okay, there was nothing more. Vance is carefully choosing seating. Took some shuffling to fix. Faraday disregarded the name cards as a suggestion and sat down next to Harold. Deleuze switched seats at the last moment, leaving Clarice next to Marek. Lupin didn't even have a name card. But in the end, the guests all took their seats at the table. The smell of roasted garlic and juicy turkey already floating down the hall. Vance wheeled in a cart with a lovely ivy pattern cloth. Atop of it, a large tureen of soup. Now I'm hungry. When she opened the lid, a fragrant cloud of steam billowed out of it, and she dished bowls. Just looking, so everything looks good in the stream. Oh yeah, I forgot to. I always keep forgetting to do this thing. I need to do the 105th. Doesn't really matter, but you know. Correct is correct. When she opened the lid, a fragrant cloud of steam billowed out, and she dished bowls. Belle glanced to check that everyone had gotten their soup, but started shortly afterward, prompting the others to begin to eat as well. Clarice, I must apologize. I haven't been able to assist you in your character workshops. It's quite alright. Thank you for your understanding. The rewrites are so extensive. It's my responsibility to get you the best script possible. But the director says that he's assembled the finest cast of his career. People are pretty excited for it, even out of town. I've heard my patrons talking about it, but the show's a hot topic in the shipyards too. Lip balm. They said you might be touring with the show if it does well. Yes, I always wanted to travel around the country, maybe even around the world, but it's so expensive and scary to do alone. Oh, just imagine that glamorous tour. Meeting stars, getting fan letters ferried over the ocean just to tell me they love the show. It would be a dream come true to have so many people see me perform. Lupin ran his spoon around in the bowl, swirling the soup. He made a small whirlpool in it, and the broth splashed over the side. He didn't bring the spoon to his lips. I have a lot to go over this evening, but while we eat, we should try to keep it light. So I think we should ask Goose the questions any person would have for someone in their profession. How do you get jobs? You mean jobs? Killing people? Yes! Yes! It's not as fun as you're hoping. I had a boss. He told me who to go after. That's it. What do you mean you had a boss? What happened to him? Same thing that happens to everyone, eventually. Retirement? Essentially. Now he's dead. So handsome and mysterious. Lupin cooed at Goose. Goose stared down at their soup bowl. Lieutenant Noah laughed and pointed at a hole in Goose's middle. Well, looking at you, he took a severe severance package. Goose took their time slurping up some soup before responding. You should have seen the other guy. Eh? Goosey, what's that creep talking about? I'm not all here. I'm partly somewhere else. Where? Sold my imp a while back. Like other folks, it left a hole. Oh, that's what happened. Mine's kinda hard to hide, though. Hell, if I know where the imp is now. Vance called from across the table. Language! Sorry, I'm just saying if I knew where that part was, I would be there too. Lupin leaned back in his chair and let out a loud whine. I'm famished. Can someone tell us a good story already? Anyone have weird family secrets? A saucy romance? A neat gender? Deleuze finished her first glass of wine. Ludicale transgender. Ludicale transgender. What? Don't do the pun, Harold. I swear it's not as funny as you. Well, yes. You see, at its core, alchemy is the study of transmuting one is. No, I think that Mr. Lupin is looking for one of the more unfashionable genres. Haha! His throat tightened, and Harold squeaked out something so high and soft, only Holly could hear it. I want to die. You can die next week. That's what you said last week. Lupin pouted and crossed his arms. Nah, give me something else, something really interesting, Mr. Science Guy. You haven't said much. Tell me your story, the quiet one always makes me curious. Nothing much to tell. Don't be modest, Ludicale. It would be rude to leave our Fae guest hungry. Though maybe you're worried that he'd throw up your story. Lupin? Wait. Lupin, are you saying you really haven't heard of Professor Ludicale and the whole scandal? Can't say that I have. He basically invented this whole imp craze. It was a mistake. Sure. But you can't be that hard on a guy for knowing all the consequences of your research from the start. I think they're lovely. Imps aren't a mistake. No one is mad at Ludicale for that. Imps are useful, and we can get a good, long look at anyone's true self using them. And we can also tell when someone has been lying and waiting to prey upon all the innocent people around them. Especially when they slip up and expose their true nature at an event with thousands in attendance. Oh, and what was that? Silverware clattered. Oops, dropped my damn spoon. Whoopsie. Language. As I was saying, everyone used to think really highly of Ludicale, but the city wised up quick when we all saw. Oops. A hand smacked into a bowl, overturning it. Dropped my fucking soup! Language! Faraday flashed Harold a smile. Harold could have kissed him. That was if he hadn't felt suddenly very nauseous. Well, and the gentleman with the very pale hair. You must have some stories. I'm just asking for a little appetizer. Alright. So one time we were up in the Lake of the Frost, coldest I've ever been. I felt like I had ice in my lungs. I had 3 blankets on, yet the frost still got through. The boat was pitching around in the waves, rocking like it was about to flip over. We would have died in that water. It was freezing, but I still finished my research notes and I wrote a letter. So you did nothing? It was an excellent letter. I still have it. Novak skewered something on his fork. It's real cute, the way little guys like that get excited about travel. He goes on one boat, and now he's got a lifetime of naval experience. It was one boat for multiple years, but go on. Novak ignored his interjection. Now me. He snorted, chewed twice and swallowed. I got a whole fleet of ships to surrender. I read about that in the paper. I bet the paper didn't tell you how he did it. Vance barely raised the volume of her voice, but her stern tone carried. No politics at the table, sirs. No offense, but I think you all need to work on your storytelling. If we let them fight, it could make for a good story. Absolutely not. Okay, let me give you a good one. So I had this friend, she was in the worst relationship ever, basically. She had a controlling, overprotective father and only like one friend. The friend was basically a nobody. She figured if she married him, she could get out of the house. And maybe her big fancy family name might help him out. You know, get him up a few ranks in the military. Oh, he's talking about Novak. Novak gave a cough. It sounded like the growl of some large beast. I don't think that story is suitable for dinner either. Lupin's eyes flitted from Deleuze to Novak and back. That's such a shame for your friend. If she needs If she needs someone to comfort her, I know just the guy. Dilus trailed a finger across the rim of her wine glass. Well, he wouldn't happen to be extremely charming, would he? Oh, he is. Let's talk about something else. I agree. Ben stood up to dish the main course, a large roasted turkey, to all of the guests. At Vance's command, a small razor-thin imp carved neat cuts of the carcass. Oh, why don't we have a Debbie tell us about the Fae? Vance kept her eyes firmly locked on her work. I may have been working from older source books, but it was a long time ago. Embellishment for the sake of the reader is normal, and an artist can find herself sorely limited by facts. Don't you worry, I don't care. I think it's funny. I can tell you have certainly increased the number of people who asked me if I come from a cabbage field. And it's great to see the look on their face when I tell them, no, not I. I was born from the little dewdrops on a spider's web, and I carried a little mushroom as an umbrella. I feel like I remember getting that kind of story read to me. They were real popular, but now only kids and old ladies like that stuff. I did start them quite a long time ago. What do you write now? The carving imp went through a bone. It gave out a little cry, and Harold flinched at the sound. Oh no. You wouldn't understand how frustrating it is to be limited by what readers expect of you. Faraday has spent enough time procrastinating on his papers to feel sympathetic. Yeah, writing isn't that easy, but I'm sure you have learned a lot since your earlier work. I mean, at least your stories are probably better than the first one Belle wrote. That boat one is terrible, am I right? Tearing down one person's work to boost another's reflects very poorly on your character. Miss Vance, you needn't worry so. Even Miss Bell says the first one isn't very good. The director and Bell are having to rewrite it completely for the stage show. Bell laughed naturedly and hit a palm down on the tabletop. Yes, it takes some time to find your feet. Vance, my darling, please do put a little special thanks credits into the foreword if you use my mushroom umbrella idea, okay? I don't mind if you use it, but I want proper credit. Vance looked to be at the end of her rope, embarrassment and annoyance playing on her severe features. I'll be sure to keep that in mind. He's very, very teasing. The somewhat adversarial chatter continued until the guests were all sitting with plates that were empty and stomachs that were very much weren't. Vance stacked the plates onto the rolling cart with ivy cloth, and a serving imp wheeled it away. This has been more fun than I thought it would be. But if you will all follow me to the parlor, it's time for the main event. Main event! My god. It's been 1 hour and 40 minutes. Main event. Well, the game has been 1 hour and 20 minutes-ish, or something. Main event. The guests all settled back into the parlor. Bill took a slow, contemplative sip of her sherry. He looked over at Harold, smiling coolly. Harold's nerves had been shot all night, but Faraday could see him beginning to ease up. Harold had always been the sort of person to comply with what was desired of him. His ruin had been quite a shock to all, and he'd never come close to recovering. Nowadays people wanted to conveniently forget that Ludi Kale existed. They wanted his unsightly little tale to be over. How do you appease the people around you when they all politely rather you did not exist anymore? That's rough. There was a lurking, obvious answer, but tonight there was another, much more agreeable way to please the people around him. And a bit of the old Harold was in his eyes again. The lecturer whose pompous sense of self-worth was only outstripped by a genuine awe of those around him. A man with boundless energy for showcasing the things he loved. Sometimes it had been a bit much. It was hard to keep up with him. For Faraday, Harold's continued assertion in the importance of every little thing may have been fatiguing. But in those bygone days, Harold would look over at Faraday, and Faraday would remember that there was someone Harold adored most of all. Faraday took a sip of his untouched wine. It tasted like vinegar, but his cheeks felt warm, and he hoped the glass would hide them. He did his best to enjoy the memory, and to not think about the years that came afterwards. I brought Dr. Ludicale here for a chance to speak to my good friend Canterbury. I have a lot I want to say to her, but I want to know one thing more than anything. Who killed her? I'm going to learn the murderer's name, straight from the ghost of my friend herself. My goodness, Miss Bell. Such a gruesome thing to discuss. Wasn't she burned up? Ooh, what a horrible way to die. This is the only way I'll be getting any valuable information or closure. I know the police in the city. Understandable conclusion. They never solved my father's murder either. Not exactly competent. Bell nodded. Dr. Ludicale. Ludicale, I'll give you the floor. Wow. Thank you, Miss Bell. Now, I will explain how... But I must ask, isn't something like this dangerous? That makes me want to try it even more. If I'm nervous, can I hold your hand, Mr. Military Man? Hey there. Hold my hand. Myers shook her head and clasped her hands. I don't want to be haunted. Harold cleared his throat, and when he spoke, it was with the same warm tone he'd once used to reassure failing students. My dear, I assure you, every person in this room is under my protection. Faraday found it easy to slip back into the role of assistant professor. He could almost pretend that they were going to go back to their office afterwards. Believe me, it's completely safe. I'll need to have you all hold hands. Everything was fine and back to normal. There he was, Dr. Harold Ludicale, alchemist and professor of demonology. The energy of summoning something like this needs at least 2 people to dilute the strength. And then old Harry was spouting the most insane bullshit imaginable. The years catching up and descending into him like a collapsing roof. We need to focus our thoughts on people who have died. Miss Bell and anyone else who knew this victim should try to think specifically of her. Once we have all linked hands, imagine Canterbury as vividly as possible. Harold stood up and put out his hands. Faraday took one hand, even if reluctantly. The whole party linked hands. Lupin gave the loose hands an extra squeeze, and she laughed. Now, we will go around counterclockwise. I want each to say her name, one at a time. I'll start. Gareth Canterbury. Gareth. Wrong voice. Gareth Canterbury. Gareth Canterbury. Gareth Canterbury. Gareth Canterbury. Gareth Canterbury. Yep. What happened? No, the light went out. Please don't let go of my hand. Who just bumped me? A cacophony. Words. A cacophony of boots, heels, and shoes sounded against the floorboards. Get the hell out of me! You're the one clinging to my arm! One heavy set of feet seemed to stomp all about the room. Is this about to happen? I mean, yes. Yes, of course. This is all part of the process. Remain calm. Well, if you're all letting go, I'm getting a candle. Please don't. I've got you here. I got you, Harry. There was more fumbling, the sound of shifting footsteps, someone bumping against the furniture, and finally... Oh! Magic. The flicker of a light. The dim orange flame waved for a moment, suspended above Lupin's extended pinky. He made his way back over to the light switch and switched it on. Both Harold and Noah were clinging to Faraday. He shrugged them off. The Luz had a suspicious grin on her face. Vance was hyperventilating with panic, and Lupine quickly moved to help her to a chair. Goose stood exactly where they'd been before, face characteristically blank. They adjusted their hats. Myers was laughing to herself. Hera suspected that he was more nervous than she liked to let on. Despite everything, Harold and Faraday were still in the same position, holding hands. Oh. In what could no longer be called a circle. The guests looked around, all of them disoriented. Is everything okay? Well, actually, I hate to be a bother, but we have to finish performing this ritual, or else I... Oh no! The demon shark tooth is gone. What? Most of the guests circled over around the curio case, leaving Harold and Faraday still standing with their hands clasped. Good heavens! Mr. Ludicale, didn't you say this place was sealed? It is. And I really have to insist that we finish the... I can't believe it! Such amazing luck! There had been a trace of tiredness about Belle for... There had been a trace of tiredness about Belle for most of the evening, but now she seemed invigorated, the picture of health. Luck? What the hell are you talking about? Oh ho ho! So lacking in imagination? Belle is a mystery writer now. She has herself a mystery. I have got to get my notes. With this building completely sealed up, we can solve this little crime right here and right now. This should be fun. But what about... You finish up. I'll be right back. It doesn't work like that, Belle. I haven't felt this wonderful for weeks. Belle moved out of the room, muttering excitedly to herself. Actually, I'm not feeling so great. I need a minute to freshen up. I should do a check around. What if someone hiding out somewhere? Can't solve the mystery if we don't have all the clues. There is a criminal on the loose. No way you're going around this place without someone to protect you. Oh, how horrifying. Someone might take something from my curio cabinet. Run, dear! This is no way to commune with the ghosts, with voices of the dead. He tried to get someone else's attention. We are running out of time to find the killer. Oh. Finally, someone is listening to me. Please retrieve Belle before we lose the mental resonance to... What if the... Oh, keep clicking, right clicking. What if the person who left the thread did get in? I need to warn Belle. She hustled out of the room. Harold peered over towards Myers, who was peering toward the door. Please, Miss Myers, we can finish this much faster with just a few more people in the chain. I'm so sorry. But if she's gone to get him, I really want to see Miss Belle's notes. I'll be right back, I promise. And I never wanted to see a ghost anyway. Harold looked around. Well, I'm certainly impressed. Is anyone else? Hey. Who's there? Oh my god. Lupine hopped from behind a chair. Gotcha! What the hell? And there he goes too. Faraday gave a long sigh. He looked at the empty room and then at Harold's hands. On the bright side, I don't think they're going to notice you can't summon ghosts. But I brought 3 stray imps from home. Had a whole light show prepared. I had almost finished unsealing their vessel. It was going to look astounding. But now, let's just reinforce the seal and be done with it. Man, it's really just sealing and unsealing with you, huh? What else am I good for? That cheery little line killed the conversation dead. The pair slowly finished the work. I sort of forgot how stressful it was to be around so many people. Yes, I'm a bit out of practice. Well, we'll get through the night. And at the least we know neither of us stole the thing. I suppose that's true. Of course it is. You haven't let go of my hand since you took it. Hey, you know. Maybe having invited a thief to the party will make me look better. You know, by comparison. Oof, Harry. You are really depressing sometimes. If I'm so depressing, why don't you walk away with the others? Well, I would, but if leaving you once caused so much fuss, then I'd hate to see. Scream rang out. Oh God, what now? As they stepped from the parlor, Faraday and Harold could smell a putrid, singed odor. There was more than one scream, and they were able to follow the sound down the hall. They followed it further, descending to the boiler room. As the guests gathered at the source of the noise, they were all confronted by an inconsolable Vance. In the boiler room, the once stern woman was doubled over, next to a charred body laying in the furnace. Clarice burst straight into tears, and Howley found himself compelled to move over to touch her arm gently. He turned them both to look away from the gruesome scene. Goose held her nose, jaw set in a tight grimace. Goose offered her their handkerchief, and she accepted it with a grim nod, holding it to her face. Faraday shot Lupin a nervous look. But it seemed that this twist in the plot was not to his taste. Noack looked towards Deleuze. Harold alone continued to stare at the body. From far away, it seemed to look like an unidentifiable charred corpse. But up close, Harold could recognize the musculature of a likely feminine form. Large drops of metal that were once buttons arranged along the torso in a V-shape. And the silhouette of a brow and nose he'd seen so often in the papers. There was just enough left of her to identify. Their host, Bernard Bell, was dead. Oh my God! The twist! Did anyone see who did this? Complete science come face to face with something. We have no idea who did it. No. Just heard a scream. Clarice wailed and clung onto Howley. Why would anyone do something like this? Usually someone with something to gain. Or people who do it for money. Well, that's both gaining, but... Lieutenant Noack flicked his gaze towards Goose, who had walked over next to the Fae, leaning down to whisper. He looked up and stood to full height, looming over the rest of the guests. It wasn't hard to imagine this tower of a person picking poor Belle up and shoving her into the furnace. Yeah, it's pretty obvious. Merrick is in the military. Killing people for money isn't beyond him. Dear, there is a hitman right there. There was no bounty on this lady, trust me. Vance rose to her feet, pointing an accusing finger at the rest of them. I've had it. One of you did this. Vance dissolved into tears. Shouldn't we call the police? Harold pinched the bridge of his nose. They can't get in until sunrise. The house is still sealed. Can't you just unseal it? Not this one. I am much better at sealing things than letting them out. I think your ritual did this to her. That's not how it works. Jeez, lady, do you think Harry here can spontaneously combust people from 2 rooms away? If he had that kind of ability, sure as lightning wouldn't be getting treated with this much disrespect. Settle down, Holly. She's just upset. It's normal to be irrational. Irrational? How dare you? As sketchy as he is in his personal life, jumping to conclusion doesn't help anyone. There's something else going on here. Of course you feel safe. You've got all the strong men wrapped around your finger. Excuse me? Not a man. Yes, we are all very aware that one of them's your husband. And you've been flirting with the other all night. Maybe if we can question you all and check for evidence, then we can figure this out. I don't want to be locked in here with a murderer. Have no fear, little miss. I'm more than happy to stand guard until morning for you. Look who's flirting now. And next to a dead body. I'm appalled by that accusation. Protecting a lady isn't flirting. It's just the right thing to do. And parties are supposed to have flirting. Parties and flirting are hand in a glove. If anything is inappropriate, it's a murder. Maybe we should be in separate rooms. Not that I'm worried. I could fight off any one of you. Really helping your case over there. Please give us some space to examine the body. Don't touch her. I don't think we can without the whole thing crumbling into a pile of ashes. Faraday knew before the words even left his mouth that it was precisely the wrong thing to say. With a mighty sob, Vance pushed past the rest of the group and rushed up the stairs. Harold decided to take control of the situation. Listen up. We will all stay right here in this room. I will go and get Miss Vance, and then we will wait. In here. Until morning. Not a soul touches the crime scene. There is likely only one killer, and against all of us, surely logic and communal thirst for justice will win out. Yeah, no. I'm holding myself up in a room by myself until morning. I'm seriously going to lose it if I have to spend one more minute in this smell. Or in this company. She left. Quickly followed by a protesting Novak. Harold's second attempt to keep the guests together was equally successful at first. Soon, only he and Faraday remained. Perhaps they have the right idea. Let's see if this house has a wine cellar. I'm not going to get paid tonight. So let's use this opportunity to be astonishingly expensive drunks. Harry, it's up to us to figure this out. You saw all that. We can't trust any of them. Only you and I were in the parlor when the murder happened. Any of the rest of them could have done it. Holly, I am running on empty. I cannot emotionally handle anymore. If you want me to keep going, I need a good reason. Any reason, as long as it's good. Faraday glared at him. Belle was a good person, even when the other guests were awful to you. She was always nice. She didn't hire you for a parlor trick. She trusted you with the memory of her friend. She might be the only person left in the city who actually respected you. Are you going to hide like a big baby because you don't want to get your feelings hurt? Or are you going to act like the decent man I know is still in there somewhere? For Belle. There we go. I knew you weren't a complete piece of garbage. Just mostly. Just a significant percentage. Friendship. The pair approached the furnace solemnly and crouched down to look carefully at what clues they could find. Yeah, how did you get in? Is that... No, that thing was like on her? Is that a pile of soot? Why is it so far away from the furnace? Harold knelt down to get a closer look, reaching out to touch it. Ow! He recalled fingers stinging. Was it sharp? Harry, are you listening to me? I can't stop working even if I'm dead. I have so much to do. I worked too hard for this all to be for nothing? Hand me that notebook. I feel like I have to write. Right now. Faraday handed him the notebook and Harold immediately set to scribbling. What are you doing? Harold's right hand continued to write, but his left jerked the book out of his hand. He put a hand to his temple. Oh, thank you for that. He shook his head, clearing it out. Are you alright? Yes, I'm fine. Is that a stray imp? Half right. I believe that was Belle's imp. Yeah, it was like on her clothes. I should have recognized this. Creative imps usually do have a spike or spines of some kind. They push their user to keep working. Different people are motivated by different things. Some people write out a fierce desire to change the world, some draft out of spite, which always ends up poisoning the user. But it looks like Belle's sense of self-worth was tied to her writing. An imp with this many spines was likely stinging her constantly, encouraging her to write. Something like that would be pretty useful for getting research papers done. It really isn't the worst sort of imp to have, but just like with any imp, if it got bigger, he let the pause linger. Faraday swallowed. I'll go get it then. We'll seal it up back at home. Put it with all the other strays. Faraday tried to locate it, but it was already gone. Oh, it got away. Well, it's someone else's headache now. It's just a small piece of fabric, but it doesn't match anything Belle was wearing. I guess if we can find where it came from, we might know more. It has some little flowers on it or something. There's a lump of metal here. Oh, I think I know what it is. You remember that key in her sleeve? The one for her office? Yes. When I look closely, I think I can see a little of the shape left. Barely. But it's enough to tell for certain that it's her office key. When we're done here, we should check up in her office. Okay. Is this a dinner cart? Why would it be down here? Something is different about it. It doesn't have food on it. Everything looks better when it has food on it. You think I'd look better if I wore a fruit hat? What? Nothing, just a thought. Faraday stood back as Harold inspected the body. Are we sure that is Belle? Maybe it's a different body. Or a fake or something. Decency forbids I give any details, but I can confirm that this corpse is, without question, Miss Bernadette Belle. Decency? This is a murder investigation. Get in there and really look. Harold glared at Faraday. Would you care to do the honors? Faraday stepped forward, but the lingered smell of burning hair was too much for him. I can't. It would be better emotionally if she'd been carried beyond recognition. But yes, I can still tell that it's her. He went pale and finally turned away from the grisly sight. Do you understand? Our combined skill set is not the same as an investigator or a consulting detective. We can still observe and deduct. But we'll have to do so without the post-mortem. Couldn't we at least move her out of there? We can't. She would... Harold felt his shoulder tense and his guts seized up. He clenched his teeth and waited for the anger to abate. Then he continued. We cannot move her. She would fall apart if we attempted to. Faraday gave the ground a helpless kick. All we can do is keep the furnace off and hope that the authorities can find something we can't. You know, this is the same way Canterbury died. There's no way this isn't related. It's highly suspicious. But it could merely be a coincidence. Faraday raised his eyebrows at Harold. Or maybe it is somewhat likely that the two friends who both worked at the same place and were killed in the same manner have the same killer. Wow. Brilliant. What a bold claim. You really aren't a detective, are you? Harold walked off to examine something else. I think that's everything of relevance. Yeah, I can't find anything else either. Let's lay out what makes sense. It would make the most sense if the murderer knew the layout of the house, because they would need to know about the boiler room. It's hard to tell who might have been here before for sure, or who might have arrived early, or snuck away to get a good look at the house. Looking at this fabric again, Faraday held up the small piece of burned ivy-colored fabric. I feel like I recognize it. You should, we saw it at dinner. It was the cloth that was on the dinner cart. I remember because I thought it was tastefully in season. There's been a movement towards more plant decoration lately, very in vogue. What does that even mean? It doesn't matter. What does matter is the cloth is burned up, which means someone chose to burn it. Why would they do that? I would have to assume that the person who burned it also burned Belle. So it might have had evidence on it. That makes sense. Well, let's get moving. We won't solve anything sitting around here. Faraday held up the notebook and gave it a little wiggle. I'll start a to-do list. Harold raised an eyebrow. He's blank. Well, I won't know what we're doing until we ask around first. Why doesn't asking around count as something to do? If I have to be awake to do it, it counts as doing something. Quit complaining and pick a room! Now we got many rooms. Okay. Let's start from the left in the dining room. Ooh. My god. Under 3 hours, they said. Well, we gotta get closer to the ending, I guess. Or kind of close. When they reached the dining room, there was a figure sitting on the windowsill, curled up and still in the moonlight. Oh, I see. The figure was poring over a thick sheaf of papers. What a difference that makes. Hello? Boop. The figure scooped up the papers, shoving them out under a decorative pillow, which did very little to hide them. Hello. Well, what are you both doing here? We only wanted a moment of your time. Where were you when Belle was murdered? Let's try someone else. Oh, ask her. I was in here. I really love the decorations. Belle put a lot of things from her own house into the story as Duchess Baker's style and taste. I'm trying to absorb inspiration. Didn't Belle say it was a parlor that was styled like Duchess Baker's room? Everything you see is part of my method. Let's try someone else. Please say while you investigate. I'll stay here. He left it unspoken that she would stay in the dining room, where she assumed it was much safer. Okay, very suspicious. Going to the kitchen. When they reached the kitchen, Vance was there, sitting with a stool and a small notebook. Her hands were fiercely trembling, but she seemed to be forcing herself to write. Gentlemen. She did not look up until she had finished her sentence. I must ask you to leave. I will not casually chat with Belle's killer. Madam, we are all under suspicion. I still believe that we have more to gain by working together. I decline. If you don't answer our questions, I'll just assume you did it. Very well. Ask your questions and then be gone. Who would have a motive to do this? All of them! You saw that she'd received a threat. One of the guests is a hitman that barely shows their face. They are clearly hiding something. I feel like that alone is more than enough evidence for the police. Though, if you want my opinion, Goose is clearly a red herring. You mean you think the Goose is a ruse? Yes, a ruse goose. Because they are not the only killer here tonight. She shot Harold a particularly venomous look. Feeling guilty? You should be. Everything went wrong as soon as you started trying to summon that ghost. Hey, I know you're upset, but Harry didn't do anything wrong. He clearly did. You saw it yourself. The lights went out, and then she was robbed and murdered. And I have heard the rumors about you, Ludicale. Everyone has been tiptoeing around the subject, but I really don't understand. How is a man with a demon allowed to roam freely? The same as any good, respectable citizen. I keep to myself, and you know, the rumors of what my demon did have been incredibly embellished in the retelling. Huh. I suppose you must have used the last of your good connections, and I'll trust the word of my associates, thank you, and not the word of a wash up like you. I'm sorry. Harry, quit apologizing for waves you didn't make. Well, where were you? Vance stood up from the stool she had just been sitting on, hunched over a small notebook with a black fountain pen. I was looking for her up in their office, but she wasn't there. I started to look around the other parts of the house, and then I finally saw her, in the boiler room. Vance turned away and shook a bit. My composure failed. I admit that screamed when I saw her. After that, I came in here. I feel safer with the kitchen imps to protect me. The imps? The imps? They are plenty strongs. So don't get any funny ideas. I just need to wait for morning. And this long nightmare will be over. Okay, let's try someone else. Vance looked back down in her notebook. Ugh, away with you. Away with you. Hey. Office. Who's in the office? When Faraday attempted to open the door to Belle's office, it wouldn't budge. Damn, she locked it. Well, we did find a key with Belle's body, but it was melted. We need to find another way in. Okay. Well, there's a, like a, well, I don't know, the window? Music room. They found Delu in a music room. At the north wall was a massive pipe organ. Go away. I'm looking for snacks. Why in here? Do you think that you're in... I know where I am. I'm in a room with a massive pipe organ. I got a better look around than either of you did. But you didn't even know there was a music room here. Let alone a massive pipe organ. No, I suppose not. Just answer a few questions for us, please. Whoa, a lot of questions. Where were you? Seems like you could solve this easily by just summoning her ghost and asking her. I actually... funny story about that. So that whole sensing thing was a heavy load. You have to give it to him, it sounded pretty convincing. I can't wait to tell people you're a total fraud. Harold balked and prepared to apologize. Faraday cut him off. Didn't your very rich father die under very questionable circumstances? And you design and sell so many ships now? That seems kind of lucky for you. Maybe Harry decides for his next trick. He's gonna summon the ghost of your father to talk about who might have killed him. This threat was barely revealed, but instead of getting upset, he seemed so excited. Oh? But you already said that he can't summon ghosts. Why would people believe his lie over mine? Harold noted her reaction and smirked. Doesn't matter. If there's even a whiff of scandal, somebody going to come looking for it. Maybe I'd be laughed out of society again, but the press would learn your dirty little secrets. I'd take you down with me, Delu. Delu laughed. Chipper. Point taken. It looks like I can't win against a very legitimate seance doer. Anyway, I was upstairs when the murder took place. All by myself. Very convincing. Very convincing. Why don't you tell the truth? All by myself. How did you get in here? I don't think this door was open while we were sealing the manor. And there are no window or other exits. Locks aren't usually a problem for me. That makes you a bit suspicious in my book. Look, Belle was promising to put my ship design into her next book. I was even going to be the setting for the whole story. I had the opposite of a motive. But it would have been a story about a murder. Who would want to buy a boat that had a murder on it? Fictional murders are classy and fun. People aren't usually bothered about the context. Just hearing the name would get them interested. Exactly, glad you're catching on, Ludicale. I would have had a design featuring heavily in the mystery. It would have sold even more than I already do. People could come for tours. Her being dead is bad for business. Simple as that. And, you know, she was kind of a nice person. If you suspect anyone, look into my human barnacle, Marek. He always liked to screw things up for people. And if it's me who's involved, even more so. Screw things up? Yeah, he sabotaged business deal of mine before. This project with Belle would have meant maybe even getting international attention. He would be furious if I got more opportunities. I'm already out of his league and he's only getting further behind. It's not a shock that he would cheat to try to catch up. You think he would really take it this far? Absolutely. I won't lie and say that I would be disappointed to hear it was his doing. Yeah, no one likes him. I did hear something when the lights went out. A lot of people were moving when they started panicking. But Goose moved over and opened the case. I could hear the whole thing. Can you be sure of that? Goose was standing next to the Myers and me during the sounds. I heard Myers say that someone let go of her hand, and I could tell when Goose let go of my hand. I know that because I am me. So, Goose was on the loose. Then someone with a heavy step ran over to the back of the room and the cabinet door opened. Goose has a really heavy step, big falls like that usually do. Merrick has a heavy step too. But he's got those awful metal custom shoes, so he sounds different when he walks. Deleuze shrugged. You could hear all that even with all the commotion the others were making? Hehehe. If there's shenanigans going on, you couldn't tear me away. We need your help. Everyone seems to. Please. Well, I guess I don't have a lot to do at the moment, and you two are too chumpy to have committed any murders. Thank you? Just don't get your demon out or whatever. I heard that it melted a guy's wife's hand off in a jar of acid. Oh, at a party. That's a new one. You said you can break locks? My imp won't let me get locked into any place. So technically, sure. If I can frame it right. So she can open the... Thea's imp looked like a large metal key. It scampered free of her pocket, tears rolling down its handle. Oh, that's sad. Meh. It pushed firmly against the door, and despite its small size, the door pushed smoothly open. The imp muttered through tears as it pushed. Let me out. Let me out. Are you okay? Why wouldn't I be? It just does that. Like I said, imps are weird. When they say what they say doesn't mean anything. Thank you, Mr. Lou. That's all you need? Then I'm off. Snacks are all calling. Harold Faraday entered the office and saw what clearly constituted a murder scene. Oh. Stuff happened. Scorch marks on the carpet and a mess of papers that were not scattered on their previous visit to the room. There were several cabinets that were open, and the mess made it difficult to know where to look first. Shit! This place is a mess. There's no real way of knowing what objects would be relevant unless you could have a look around. Why me? My sight's better than the Lou, but not by much. No. You know. I don't want to do that here. You said I had to do this for Belle. I even let Maggie out for this. He winched and slapped the side of his forehead. Shut up. If Harley wants to play at Inspector, he got to make sacrifices too. Don't cuddle him. Oh, yeah. That was Harold. Shut up. If Harley wants to play as Inspector, he got to make sacrifices. Don't cuddle him. He took a breath and regained his composure. So, Harley, can't you do this? At least to solve her murder? Fine. Stand back. We're going the hallway or something. Sure. Faraday took a deep breath and took off his glasses. Whoa. He had special eyes or something? Belle's script for the play, it burned up with her. Almost none of it's left. It's not salvageable. This is part of the script too. Hours and hours, all ashes. I wonder if it will never get made because of this. What will happen if it's gone forever? His pull open and something is missing. Something that belongs here is gone. I won't be able to find it if it's not in this room. What if that's the whole reason she was murdered? What if you climbed that and fell backwards and just broke your head open? Okay. Imagine just running at the glass and trying to jump out. Harry's seal will push me back. He would save me without even knowing. Almost nothing left on the top except for a few pens and blue ink stains. Will the next person who owns this desk even know who Belle was? Is something specific here? No, it's just the same. There's a burn mark on the ground and one on the ceiling. She died right here and nobody heard it. Did she just combust? Could I just burn up like that? Could Harry? What if the killer comes after us next? Another page of the script. What a waste. Death is so senseless. People are gone so fast. You piece of shit. How many times have you run away? You could have done something with your life. Oh, it continues. You're the most pathetic loser. A man with no impact might as well have never existed. Belle wrote thousands of words more than you ever will. And now she's dead and the work will outlive her. What work have you done? You don't matter. Nothing matters. Nothing you ever do will be worth anything with this demon. This imp is going nuts. At least Harry has done something. You're too broken to finish a single thing. He's too good for you. When you die, not a single person will care or remember. He tried to keep looking, but the room felt bigger and bigger every second, like it was going to swallow him. That everything inside it felt incomprehensible and impenetrable. His whole life felt like something that he wished he could forget. His failures, his unfinished work, they all felt like 1,000 pounds manifesting themselves into themselves on his chest. He stared at the room and in every single object saw the terribleness of a cold, uncaring world that would burn or fade or rot. The room reminded me of how he didn't deserve to be here, or anywhere. He was worthless. Uh-oh. This is bad. He lost control of his breathing and the world felt like a stage he wasn't even on. His heart raced and his face contorted into pain, gasping sobs. He couldn't make words. He struggled to stay standing or to catch his breath. Harley! I'm coming back in! Harold moved close, wanting desperately to make it stop and to put his arms around his shaking friend, even though his arms ached to hold him, hoping that protective feeling would reach him. But he waited for permission. Faraday's voice was just a series of gasping sounds, but between them managed a strangled word. Oh. Okay. Okay. Don't play with the demons. Harry pulled him into a hug and Faraday burst into tears. He moaned and tried to catch his breath between wordless pained utterances. I'm sorry. I'm right here, Holly. Harry's arms were tight around him, the pressure familiar. Holly wanted to sink deeper into the grip, to fall back through the years to when this embrace had been his on a whim. Even now, Holly could feel an awkward curl in Harry's fingertips. Hands, once so comfortable with his body, now didn't quite know what to do. What did you find out? Faraday choked back a bitter laugh. Right back to work, huh? Sorry. This isn't exactly a thing I do regularly. Right. Hopefully it was something important. You're really awful at comforting, do you know? Sorry. No. Let's just stay here for a minute. That's enough. He almost felt Harry pull away, but with a sudden fierce affection his arm wrapped tighter. There was a lot he wanted to say, but he bit back every single one of those words. After a couple of minutes, Holly found it easier to breathe, and they got back to work. It felt wrong to continue to do the voices. Not gonna lie. The murder took place here. That burn mark, that's where she died. It wasn't in the boiler room, and whoever did it also burned up the entire final draft of her plays. I'll get that written down. So, Faraday grit his teeth, then managed a cocky grin. Where to next? We have said everything we need to say to Delu, so let's head back into the hall. Into the bath room. Though the door was open, the bathroom was occupied by a large occupant. Tight. It was a tight fit, all three of them standing aside. Hey, are you alright? Yep. It's nothing. So, are you trying to figure out what happened? As a matter of fact. Where were you? I was in here. The whole time? Yes. Goose's hat slipped even further over their eyes. They looked clammy. I feel sick. That does seem believable. Why did you steal from the curio case? I didn't steal anything. Delu said she heard you do it. She's wrong. Okay, let's try someone else. It's, really cramped in here. Please leave. So, okay, let's go. Parlor. As they reach the parlor. Oh my god, it's this dude. They found Lieutenant Nowak in an armchair, tapping his foot in idle irritation. We have a few questions. Oh, this will be rich. Where were you? I don't have to cooperate with you. You're both, frankly, beneath me. What the hell am I going to get out of answering questions for you? A warm fuzzy feeling of human decency for solving an innocent person's murder? Pass. Now get lost, both of you. Oh, he's using his eyeballs. Eyes open once more on Nowak's chest, and at the sound of his order, Faraday's leg give another unwieldy twist. With shuddering, contorted steps, both he and Harold stumble out the door. My god. Elle was on the ground in a heap. Oh, unpleasant. But as we both know where we are, it seems that his imp doesn't force us to take his words literally. So if that's how it works, I don't care. I don't care how it works. I'm gonna kick his teeth in. We cannot kick in the teeth anywhere until we learn how his imp works. More importantly, the investigation goes nowhere until we question him. Fine. Let me think. Eyes tend to be found on authoritarian imps. People conscious of the control of the others exhibit. Through the social gaze. Yes, people's imps manifest eyes to watch and judge them. But Nowak doesn't seem to care at all what anyone else thinks of him. Maybe it's a repressed fear? You are projecting that, I think. Smartass. But seriously, if he were scared of how others perceived him, he keeps his imp hidden. But he wears his like a little badge of honor. Faraway, you're a genius! Wow, been a long time since you called me that. I've seen an imp like this before. It's very common among police officers. When one is intimidated by the officer using it, then they are compelled to follow the officer's orders. So all we have to do is not be scared. Well, I can't help it. I'm trying to stand up to him, but he unnerves me. What are we going to do? Switch cases. We need to turn our thinking around. We've been trying to solve the mystery of Bell and Canterbury's murders when we could have returned to the mystery of the missing wine cellar. Oh no! Don't worry, Holly. It's not so bad to give up. In fact, the more you do it, the easier it gets. With a little practice, you can give up on everything at all. Yeah, sounds good. The stream is over, guys. I'm giving up. Chip. 4 days at a time. No, I just had an idea, but you're not going to like it. Then why would you even say it? Your turn. My turn? I took off my glasses to search the study. No. If you were just to unseal your imp temporarily, I think we'd have our Nowak problem solved. Oh yes, one problem solved and one even bigger issue left behind. I'm not thrilled about this either, but this is for Belle, isn't it? Plus, she might punch that guy's lights out. Which I would find super gratifying to watch. Look, you won't be losing social standings with this dude. He already hates you guts. He might even respect you more after she punches him. Extremely unlikely. You can never be sure with guys like that. Be honest with me, can you handle this? Tonight's already sucks. I'll survive. So please? Holly groaned and put a hand to his mouth, looking vaguely ill. Please. I want to see her. Oh, what's gonna happen now? Waves of revulsion rippled through Harold's abdomen, and he doubled over. Nausea gripped him, and he fought to swallow back all the saliva suddenly filling his mouth. But as he just said, giving up was easier the more practice one got. And in a sheer effort of lack of will, Harold gave up. Stomach lurching, Harold vomited himself inside out. That was not a metaphor. Soon it was a big mess lying on the floor. but it was not roast turkey and soup. It was a figure. And though she was not human, she had been around too long and grown from too many of Harold's repressed feelings. The public considered imps to be something they could control. An imp would not talk back. The public would not refer to her as an imp. To them, she was a demon. Oh my god. Hello. But the two gentlemen called her Maggie. Maggie hopped to her feet, squealing with glee. Whee! Harley, you asked for me. I knew it. I knew you would want to see me eventually. She opened her arms wide and her eye vein pulsed with joy. Here I am, just for you. Yay. I know you're having a bad night and I'm going to protect you. Do you know just how badly I wanted to throw my arms around you? Let me wrap you up. I'll never ever have to let go and nobody can ever hurt you. Not never ever again. No thanks. Let's just question Noah can get this over with, okay? Faraway stepped toward the door. But Maggie jumped in front of him, wagging a finger. You know what I want from you first? Maggie bared her sharp teeth. Faraday shrunk away from her, but he wasn't fast enough. First, I want to see your notebook. I love looking at it. Okay. To-do list. Get Goose to admit that they took the tooth. Confront Noah with his motive. We're finished speaking with Delise. Yeah. Populars are friends with a fae. Whoa. Kisses for your cheek, mama. Hardworking, clever, speaks his mind, handsome and huggable. I will give to him a smooch. I guess the demon loves Faraday. I'm sad because I'm Garbo. Cool sideburns though. Hello, Eeks. Welcome in. I want all the genders. Gimme. Is that allowed? Harold and Maggie. Jerk. True. Usually intoxicated. Hope everything is good, Eeks. I've been going at this game for 2.5 hours now. They said under 3 hours, so we'll see if we're getting closer to the ending now or something. I feel like I've been keeping up with the reading and stuff, so should be getting closer. Haha, Holly, you're so smart, we should kiss. Okay, so Maggie wrote, married to Deleuze, but only if you fear him. Okay. She snatched it up from his hands and scribbled in it, giggling to herself. It's been such a long since he let me hold it. Harry and I read through it all the time when you were gone. There! She handed it back to him. Faraday looked slightly shell-shocked. You're not going to... Oh, are you disappointed? Maybe though you get a big old smooch out of the evening? Maybe thought you get a big old... No, I remember what you told me. Maggie, I don't like it when you hold me tight like that. Maggie, your spit is literally acid. Don't kiss me. We can keep talking it slow. We can keep taking it slow, no worries. PDA is off limits at a murder scene. This is an absolute rule. Unless you really wanted to blow after investigation. Just get drunk and canoodle in the wine cellar. Very romantic. Maggie, you're always so much. But Harry really looked at it all the time. Now, of course, things got so much worse when he left. He kept stuffing more and more of himself in me. Because we are a disgusting, awful person. I tried to be good and let him have me removed. But I just hate being so gross. Good, what do you think of the game? It's good. It was a lot of reading in the beginning, and a lot of characters, and like a long. It kind of felt like a long introduction, like I was reading a really long story. But then suddenly a twist. And suddenly, like, really deeper things started happening. So it was kind of a, in my head, a slow beginning. But now I'm getting like really into wanting to finding out what's because there's been a murder. Now there's been a murder and stuff, and we have imps and demons and things going on in this story. Also, according to the creator, this whole game is made in watercolor. So you can see the characters are in watercolor. I'm really curious about the backgrounds though, if they have used photos and then used like a filter, or if they actually painted the backgrounds too, because if they painted the backgrounds, that's crazy. Because this is looking crazy good, you know? And some people are that good at painting, so it's like my eyes are having trouble to be like, is this just a photo and filter, or is it actually? Oh wow, fun with a twist. Yeah, it really became like super exciting when the twist came. It was like, what is happening? Stuff is happening. Ugh. But it was a long beginning before it happened. He really made our body look so much better. And I like using that one instead of this thing, because I'm disgusting and inconvenient, and if I would just go away forever, we could be a normal person again and people would like us. But even if you left, I always believed that you still cared. I thought about you so much more than Harry did, more than with each passing day. I looked at your journal every day. You have to know that, Holly. I would even smell it, just hoping some trace of you was still left in the pages. Please, can we question Noah now? Maggie's demeanor was wild and full of pent-up drive. But Holly's unenthusiastic response evaporated all of her excitement in short order. Fine. Maggie walked over to the door. Oh, so disappointed, so sad. It looks really good, cool with watercolors, yeah. And gave the side of her head a casual smack with the heel of her palm. She muttered to herself, I'm not cringy. Harold Edwin Ludicale. Ludicale? You're cringy. Maggie opened the door to the parlor and Howley followed her in, giving her a generous amount of space. Novak recalled it as he saw her. Is that thing from the ambassador ball? He turned to Faraday. The Ludicale decided he hadn't had enough ruin? Or are... Hey! I'm not here to explain myself. I'm not even really here to solve that murder. But I heard you bullying my Howley. Hey. Haha, quit hiding, Ludicale. Only a coward hides behind his imp. And this is one you really should have kept locked up. An ugly imp is a sign of an ugly soul. That isn't even remotely how it works. Just for the record. Maggie was positively glowing. Holly, you stood up for me. I wasn't standing up for you, I was just standing up for Harry. Psh, same diff. Anyway, she turned back to Noak. You think I'm ugly? That's nothing compared to what your face will look like if you don't stand apologizing to my Harley. Now. She sucked in her cheeks and then spat a wad of bright green something on the floor. The carpet sizzled just for a moment, but long enough to burn a coin-sized hole in it. Noak tried to employ his imp, the eyes flashing. Get away from me, freak. Faraday took an unwilling step back, but Maggie threw her head and laughed, striding and staring him dead in the eye. Oh, you want me to boo-hoo and cover? You want me to nod like a good little boy? That part of me is stuffed in the broom cupboard like the silly nerd he is. With her free hand, she dug her knuckles into her temple. And he'll shut up and let me do my job. If he doesn't want me to come out later and snap his fountain pen collection in half. She turned her attention back to Noak. Speaking of the increasing odds of snapping things in half, say sorry to Holly. Say he's perfect just the way he is. Maggie, you're taking it too far. It's not even about me. I just want him to... Shit! Harvey, we need to hear him. Noah lifted his arm, intending to backhand Maggie. But she caught his blow before it could reach her cheek. Oh, the lad wants to brawl. Now does he? Noah tried his best to struggle free from her grip, and he kicked at her. Her grip was tight as steel. Unfortunately, his boot toes were tipped with steel too. It dug into her side and she dropped to her knees. Noah loomed over her. Faraday let out a cry of outrage, but Noah turned his imp's gaze back towards him. Don't move and shut up. Faraday's feet froze in place and he ground his teeth together. Noah grabbed Maggie by the hair and lifted her up. Well, I suppose the case is closed now, isn't it? Ludicale's demon ran amok and started killing people. Lucky for all involved, Lieutenant Noah was here to put it down. Maggie's scalp was in a fair amount of pain, but both of her hands were free. She took aim, pulled back a curled fist, and punched Noah in the shoulder. Maggie did not have steel-tipped fingers, but there was traditionally a reason why humans fear demons. When her blow made contact with Noah's shoulder, something popped. He howled in pain. They both fell to the floor and Noah lay crumbled, clutching his arm. Maggie stood up and brushed herself off, muttering to herself, "Yeah, you're right, Harry. It would have been way easier to just apologize in the first place. But not half as fun. You okay, Harley?" Faraday's joints loosened and he nodded. She looked at Nowak. "Now you be nice to him and answer his questions. If you're nice, I'll pop that shoulder back in the socket for you." "Ugh, fine." Maggie lined out her hands along Nowak's shoulder and muttered, "I mean, we spent a lot more time studying demons' anatomy than human anatomy, but it's all the same, right?" "What?" She popped the bone back into the socket. Nowak did his very best not to cry. Maggie gave him a friendly clap on the shoulder, the injured one. "Oh yeah, I almost forgot. So I stood up for you. Does that mean I have earned your begrudging but earnestly felt respect?" Nowak looked up at her and, without letting go of his injured shoulder, used his hand to make a rather obscene gesture. I guess a little Yeah, he was a long shot anyway. Nowak muttered and he pulled himself back to his feet. He turned on Faraday with an excited grin. "How about you? You respect me more now, right, Holly?" Yeah. "I'm so happy." "I'll beat whoever you want me to, okay? You just call my name and I'll come running." "Be back in a moment to question you, Nowak." Maggie practically skipped out of the room, aglow with excitement. "Holly, you took me out to a nice dinner, and I even got to protect your honor." Faraday followed out, exasperated. "You assaulted a guy that might go after us later." Potato, potato. "Look, it's not exactly my ideal date, but why squibble? Why quibble? It's nice to have someone who is willing to be seen with me." She closed her eyes. Pursed her lips. "You can kiss me goodnight." "Come on, you're head over heels for me. I know you wanna." She didn't open her eye or change her posture, but she did give an impatient little hop. "Sweep me off my feet, you soft, handsome devil." He couldn't look at her. "I've told you before, I have feelings for someone else." "But that's not..." she muttered to herself. "I'm just as much Harold as Harold is." Maggie frowned, wilting. "I'll get changed into something more comfortable, shall I?" She started to walk away. "Hey, Maggie, You cut him off. "Don't worry, cutie. I'm just heading down the hall for a minute. Nobody likes watching someone throw up." Nice. Harold walked back down the hallway, wiping his mouth on his sleeve. Tastes like anise and resentment. 100 apologies for her behavior. You know, after all this, if you want to talk, she's a bit much for me, but you, as I've said before, just ignore anything she says. It's not a good idea to dwell on it. It's not a good idea to dwell. He put his hand on his temple and rubbed at it, muttered something to himself, before turning his attention back to the doorway. "Shall we?" And without waiting for Faraday to respond, Harold walked back into the room. Faraday ground his teeth. Stubborn. Stubborn! And then followed Harold. They returned to the parlor, feeling much more optimistic about their chances of getting some answers. So, where were you? Now I think you're ready to tell us. Where were you when Belle was murdered? I was with Dia in the hallway. She said that she heard someone moving around upstairs. Didn't she tell you that? No, she didn't. Noah gave a deep fatigue sigh. He's trying to frame me. Very aspirational to have a marriage where your wife wants you to get framed for murder. Did you see anything suspicious? Sure, I saw Clarice run past us to get up the stairs. Seems suspicious to me that she'd be in such a hurry. Confront him with his motive. Deleuze claims you had a reason to kill Belle. She says you were trying to sabotage her. Having a motive doesn't mean I did it. Don't make us get her to come back. Noah rubbed his shoulder. Ugh. Look, if Dia says I wasn't with her, then that means she has no alibi either. And she has a history with murder. I don't want to get her into any trouble. I say she was with me. It's on her for saying I wasn't. And hey, if Dia gets the rap for this, maybe she'll need me to speak at the trial. Wait. You know what? I take back what I said. I was completely alone. Let her come crawling back. I suppose a judge could strike testimony from the record. But this isn't a court case. You're just talking to two guys. Two guys who know what you and Deleuze have. Who knows that you and Deleuze have an alibi. You're no fun. Yeah, I think we're done here. Yeah, I think we're done here. Oh my god, okay. Let's see here. Under a pen. Deceased. Yeah, this is Belle. She's dead. She burned. Her imp changed her into... Her imp changed her into locked... can. Her imp can get her into locked spaces. I guess we should talk to Clarice again. Kid Goose admitted they took the tooth, asked Clarice smiled while she was on the stairs. She was in the dining room. Did you come back to look at the flowers? It really is comforting in here. What were you doing on the stairs? The stairs? Yeah, Merrick said he saw you running on the stairs. Is he sure? Well, I'm sure that his death is going to put your stage show even more in the spotlight. Did you really want to travel and get famous that badly? Of course not. At that moment, Clarice could no longer hold back and burst into tears. I'm sorry. I didn't think anyone would even know. Clarice cried into her hands. I was on the stairs because I took the manuscript from the first story out of Belle's office. She probably had it out to write the play adaptation. I just really wanted to see it. I honestly thought I could just run down here and look through it without anyone seeing me, and then run back up and put it back. Belle's office door was open. I snuck in there after an imp left. I thought it was a cleaning imp, but the place was a mess. But then I heard that scream. I shut the door behind me, hid the manuscript, and went to find out what happened. I was going to put it back. It's been right here, safe and sound. Why would you do that? It sounds so stupid and embarrassing, but I'm just a big fan who completely oversteps my boundaries. I'm so ashamed. Clarice's eyes welled up again and she sniffed loudly. Now I can't even apologize to Miss Belle for it. Where's the manuscript now? It's on the windowsill right over there. Clarice retrieves the stack of paper, still wiping away a few tears with her free hand. I really was in here after that, I promise. I understand if you don't believe me after what I did. But I really hope you find out who did this. Miss Belle was such an amazing writer. Miss Belle was such an amazing writer and a kind person. Clarice looked at her feet and held the stack of paper out to Faraday. You should take this. I'm sick just thinking about it. If you can summon Miss Bell's ghost, please tell her. Say I'm sorry. I'll do that. Harold and Faraday left the room, feeling, not for the first time that night, deeply awkward. She seemed genuinely upset. I want to believe her. I want to believe no one killed Bell, but we have to be skeptical. For example, look at this manuscript. It's the first Constance Little Bear story, and as really neat as it is to be holding it for real. I could swear Bell said she wrote in blue ink. This is black ink. People lie all the time, and for the weirdest reasons. Sometimes it's just really hard to tell what to believe. Indeed. It seems like everyone here has something they're hiding. But so do I. I can't judge. Does it say here? Writes the popular content a little bit of series of mysteries. How are you reading this train? No, it doesn't say it. She writes blue pen, but she did say it earlier. Okay. Let's go. Did we talk with... The notes says we're done with it. I will try to talk with her again though. Well, welcome back. Gosh, how long has it been? It's been like minutes. Couldn't you stay? Not here? It was so nice while you weren't here. I think we're done speaking. Okay. We haven't found those snacks. Let's talk with... When they returned to the kitchen, Vance barely looked up from her writing. Come to bother me again, I see. Why would someone burn her script to the play? What a horrible thing to do. I had no idea it was burned. She had been working on it tirelessly. Well, it's almost completely gone. I doubt anyone can use it. I'm sorry. At least her legacy can continue. Even if all her notes are gone and I have to go back to the originally published version, I'll make sure that the show goes on. After all, the creative voice behind the Constance Little Bear Mysteries has not entirely departed. As her editor, I can continue the stories for her. I came in here to start making notes right away. Felt like the only way I could respect what she's leaving behind. Well, we'll let you get back to it then. That's a little bit suspicious. A bit suspicious. Okay, we gotta talk with Goose. Oh. I keep forgetting too close to the door. Hello? It's so tight. Well, let's get this over with. Let's try someone else. It's real cramped in here. Please leave. What? But how do we make him admit that he took do we need something more from the office? When they return to the office. Oh, alright, this dude. What are you doing here? Nerping. You shouldn't. Why is he in the bathroom? Well, they all wanted to split up after the murder and took each one room each, and apparently Goose, the biggest one, took the tiny bathroom. He also said that he was feeling ill, so I guess, you know, bathroom is a good place to be. He gave up. May we ask you a few questions? By all means. Where were you? I was checking on Goose. They're usually real tough, so I was surprised they were sick. Oh, maybe Goose ate a tooth? Have you met them before? I made their voices too similar. Guess the cat is out of the bag on that. Such an adorable detective, aren't you? He leaned a bit closer to Faraday with a wink. Faraday blushed and stammered. Yeah. So you know them. Why pretend not to? I'd rather come clean. I don't want to deal with getting a murder pinned on me. I'm a thief, not a murderer. I'm guessing here, but I feel like everyone we talk to is going to say they're not murderers. But at least one of them is a liar. Ask Goose then. They'll back me up. Say I told you it's okay. How did you find out about this party? We've been planning this for a while. We got floor plans, got her to run into Goose. Whenever she decided to let them in would have been all the chance we needed. Why come to... I can't do their voices at the same time. Why come steal something when you can't get out? That would have been exciting to deal with. But it wasn't something I planned for. This party just happened to be when she invited them. And I found a way to sneak myself in under the circumstances. I didn't know you would seal the place though. There's no way to get out of here until morning. That was a bit of a hitch, but I'm sure I could have worked something else out. A challenge. It would have been fun. Did you like my trick with the lights? You really scared poor Clarice. No one got hurt. No one was supposed to get hurt, at least. I really don't know what went wrong. Did you see anything suspicious? I really didn't. I wasn't paying attention to anything but the prize. The prize being... I just love demon sharks. Hate to break it to you, but there's no such thing as demon sharks. Blech. Don't tell Goose. You break their heart. I thought we could paw through Belle's notes and fill up some more fun stories. Come back if you change your mind. Bye for now, cuties. Okay, now I think we can talk with Goose. Oh, I keep forgetting to close the door. Well, let's get it over with. Lupin says you can tell us the truth. Okay, if he says it's okay. Lupin and I are partners. We work together to steal imps that belong to other people and give them back to their owners. I did steal this. Goose reached under their hat and held out a sharp-pointed object. A tooth. You seem like you're smart enough to know this isn't a demon shark tooth. Yeah, but we didn't know what it actually was. It's someone's imp, and they deserve it back. Maybe it's better if I take it and seal it up? No way. Goose pulled it away and put it back under their hat. You don't have the right to deprive someone of part of themselves. Maybe they got rid of it for a reason. No matter the reason, living with only part of yourself will always feel empty. Looks like we're done talking with Goose. It's really cramped in here. Please leave. After everything we saw and heard, I'm pretty sure I know who killed Canterbury and Bell. Faraday nodded. Me too. Well, I don't. Do you want to check your notes before making an accusation? Because now would be a good time to do that. If I'm not checking them now, then I assure you, I don't need to do it at all. The culprit is... Fuck if I know. I have no fucking idea. Wait, should I check the notes before... Damn it. I didn't check the notes. Can I get back to check the notes? I shouldn't have clicked. Now I can check the notes. Yeah, this is gonna be like that other game. I feel like it was Vance. I'm thinking it was Vance, actually. She said some suspicious things about wanting to take over. Yikes, she joined a little bit late to know. But Vance is kind of the only person that's a little bit towards the end of like, she's her editor and she was talking about like, I'm gonna continue her work. And why would she want to continue her work, you know? Like, her legacy gonna live on? Question. Goose is a hitman. And he has lost a piece of himself, like an imp something, so he lost a bit of himself. But he only wanted to steal the tooth. She could also be a little bit suspicious. Damn, now I need to do a lot of thinking again. That did sound a little sus. It's also because she said... Clarice said that she saw an imp come out of the office. She thought it was a cleaning imp. That leads a little bit back again to maybe Vance had an imp or something go into the office to do something, because they had a lot of like worker imps. So she could control that imp. Whatever his name was, Luffy. Luffy. I feel like he's just goofy. He's a Fae though, so I'm going back to that whole death and theology game. Why would he murder her? He wanted to steal a thing. Then this dude, he's just a douche. But apparently he is married to... Can I take this? Apparently he's married to Delu, which is a little bit funny. And they don't seem to enjoy their marriage, kind of. So they just act like... Okay, yeah, because it's probably not a cleaning imp since it was a mess in there. No, exactly. The imp was just there to, like, burn the papers and stuff and ended up burning her, and then someone somehow moved her down to the furnace and stuff. What's the worst that can happen? You know, we take a guess and then we're back. Probably. What if I'm wrong again? It's gonna be so bad. Are you ready for the worst ending again? I can look at it now. But I already kind of made a choice. Gareth Canterbury, her friend Liv Bell, recently murdered, popular illustrator work for it. Disliked by her bosses. Tells it like it is. Friends with a fae. Oh yeah, she was also friends with that fae dude. I saw it, right? The popular Constance Little Bear series of mysteries. Harry, if you're reading this, Trina, publish the first story under pen name. A hitman here for Bell's research wasn't them, Lepin's partner. So he was here to just steal back. But at the same time, they stole the tooth, and that is a imp. Could they have used the tooth and the imp to murder her? I'm here for you if that happens. Thanks, Eeks. Yeah, my god. Now her imp changed her can get her into locked spaces. And the door was locked. But it opened because she ran to the office to get paper and pen or something. She wanted to write stuff down. She probably opened a door, which means DeLu wasn't the one who got in there. Stage actor, a big fan of Belle Evil Laugh. She's going to make a killer Duchess Baker. Yeah, Clarice could do a lot of like evil laughter and stuff, and like, yeah. Myers took the first Little Bear story from Belle's office. But the thing she took... Belle wrote in blue pen, but the papers they looked at was black. I know Clarice did something when they came into the room. She said something. Oh, if you do this, that happens. Something. Like, I don't know what she did. If she changed the colors on the paper to... I don't know. Lupine flowers in Belle's office. Partner with Goose, stole the tooth. Eat stories. I wrote some dusty old children's stories. Good publishing connections. Belle's editor. Navy guy, pushy. His imp can force you to do things, but only if you fear him. Married to Deleuze. Unless his imp forced someone to put her on fire. Trying to remember all of the conversations they had also. It was so much conversations. And there was a lot of, you know, hinting towards each other like, I don't like you, and I don't like you, and you did this thing, and you did this thing, and you did this thing, and you this, and this and that. The ink seems like an important clue. Yeah, why is the paper black? It says I have not been here all the whole stream. Yeah. Thea and Marek is married, but they keep saying weird stuff about each other. Vance is the editor and stuff, and it's a good question. Clarice. Maybe it was married. Maybe it was not. But Dea said she wasn't with Noak, and Noak said he was with Dea, but then he was like, haha, no, I wasn't. Then they were, question mark? But Dea seems to really dislike Noak. Oh my god, they can be so... It's fucking impossible to know. Hey, what really gave it away? Could it be a Lupine? Since a friend also burned. But Goose had a tooth. Was Goose with Lupine then and stole something from the friend also? And then Goose burned her too? Fuck, this is hard. This is hard. As the first death, she also burned. Now this one burned in the same manner. Makes Lupin really suspicious. Or fans. Unless someone else also, of course, knew them. But there were so many conversations. How am I supposed to remember everything they said? You didn't write down everything. I need more details. I suppose tonight's host. In the bathroom. Maybe he feels sick because he burned her. Pay for Belle's research. Wasn't then Lupin's partner. What does your gut feeling tell you? My gut feeling is all over the place. I guess my gut feeling is kind of telling Goose, but it's also so apparent because he's a hitman. Here for Belle's research, wasn't them? Like he said, it wasn't him. Lupin's partner. Well, I already clicked Vance, I guess, so... Oh no, I should have saved. The work saves. Oh no, what have I done? Fuck. I mean, it's pretty obviously. Harold put a finger to his lips, then whispered, "Shh, wait a minute." He leaned in and quietly continued. I'm certain that we're on the same page, but let us proceed with caution. We cannot tell where exactly the rented imps may be. We cannot tell where exactly the rented imps may be. We cannot allow them to suspect that we think it is. He mouthed the word "hands." Powell nodded and then stated loudly, "Since all of you said it wasn't you, it must have been a suicide." Can I like save here? What happens then? Maybe it's the worst place to save. I'm a bad guy. Oh well. No murders in either case. Mystery solved as far as I'm concerned. He tilted his glasses down so that Harold could see his eyes and gave a big wink. Harold did his best to act annoyed at this instead of incredibly charmed. They headed towards the kitchen, but instead could hear movement toward the music room. Twists? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? When the two men arrived in the music room, they found Vance there, as well as Lupin and Goose. Hold it right there! Lupin gave him a cheeky grin. You are noisy tonight, aren't we? Faraday clenched his hands into fists. Despicable, you were in cahoots with her the whole time. The three people I said? They were in cahoots? The three people I was like, it could be Lupin, it could be her. Oh my god. I guess there's no point in hiding it after all. Goose withdrew the demon shark tooth from underneath their hat. The demon shark tooth! And handed it off to Vance. The great thief has successfully finished another heist. You said you were a thief, not a murderer. Murderer? Lupin's eyes flitted from Faraday to Vance to the tooth in her hands. I see. Goose? We messed up big time. If it hadn't been so worried about your health, I wouldn't have noticed sooner. What's all this racket? The loose enters quickly followed by Nowak and Myers. Goose motioned towards Vance. Jeez. Faraday lost his patience. Yes, of course, she's the killer! She was the killer! Nicole! Hello everybody, my name is Nicole and hello. Welcome in, Nicole. We just found the killer. Or I think so, at least, unless I have another twist, I don't know. Myers shook her head. No, that can't be true. Miss Vance and Miss Bell have been friends ever since Miss Bell wrote her first Constance Little Bear mystery. Harold withdrew a sheet of papers. My apologies, madam, but not a single thing you just said is correct. Because Vance was not Bell's friend. And Bernadette Bell did not write the first Constance Little Bear mystery. What? When Bell gave Miss Myers her autograph, she signed it in blue ink. The same blue ink that she claimed to have used to write all of her stories. But this first draft is written in black ink, with spidery handwriting that differs significantly from the rest of Bell's notes. I just did a Markiplier meme. Oh, does Markiplier start his... I haven't thought about that. Hello everybody, my name is Markiplier, and hello. But this first draft is written in black ink from the rest of Bell's notes. The spider handwriting is not, however, only to be found on this first draft. It can also be found... Faraday snatched a small notebook out of Vance's hand and held it open to show to assembled onlookers. In Vance's personal notebook. Not a word of it's true. This is just a distraction. He's throwing accusations around in order to confuse you all. None of you can trust such a wild man, nor his associate. Hey, I could have sworn I heard you mention that you were the one who recommended Ludikill to Bell. I mean, Ludikill's not a guy I would invite to a party either. But if I was looking for someone shady to take the blame, plenty of people would assume he did it. She invited me too. She said that Belle had stolen her imp and she needed our help getting it back. She was supposed to give Belle our calling card so that Belle would have known we were stopping by. Why did she even need our help, Miss Vance? You could have strolled in and asked for your imp back at any time. Boss? It was frame up. Oh! She must have figured if Ludikill didn't take the fall, there would have been 2 more outlaws as backups. Me? I'm never someone's backup. I never play less than center stage. All that matters is she had plenty of patsies shielding her from suspicion. Oh, eeks, the gut feeling was strong from the beginning. So cool. This is mere conjecture, nothing more. How on earth could I ever kill Belle? As you have so callously established, she gestured to the hole in her neck. I have no imp of my own. Not true. You wild thing, I'm not lying. I haven't published a book in years. I was forced to sell my imp. You didn't have your imp. You had several rented imps, oh my god. As you all know, Vance made our dinner tonight using one of the cooking imps that makes a flame hot enough to char a person alive. Ah. One that is, I might add, more than big enough to hold a human body and soundproof enough to smother a tea kettler's screech, let alone the last cries of poor Belle. And she's had control over them both in the past as well, because she said Belle would rent these imps from the same people often. She used the cooking imp to kill Belle in her office, then, assuming that the imp couldn't move with poor Belle inside, Vance put Belle bodies into the same cart she used to serve dinner, the one with ivy cloth. She carted Belle's body to the basement, dumped her into the furnace, threw the incriminating cloth in after her, and then screamed, alerting the rest of us. Oh my god! You did it! Admit it! I'm stunned that a man like you, evil, was competent enough to pull this all together. But solving this correctly, I need to find the culprit. Yeah, accuse. only means you've doomed everyone here. So fine. What does it matter? I wrote the first Constance Little Bear mystery. It feels so good to say it. I published it under a pseudonym, knowing that the public would never accept it from me. Me, a respectable writer of beloved fairy tales, writing tales of blood, it would sully my reputation. The story did modesty. Many readers enjoyed it, including Bernadette Bell. The little upstart. She was a little nothing writer who loved my story. Oh yeah, you got knows the truth. Hello everybody, my name is Nicole and we are going to play She was a little nothing writer who loved my story and confided her esteem, not knowing that I was the writer. I told her my secret and she was so excited. She asked to assist me in continuing the series. I even allowed her a small percentage of the earnings. But as we published more and more, sometimes trading off submissions, became apparent. It became apparent that the public preferred her stories. So I let her write more and more, but she had the gall to suggest that she deserved more of the profits. She even confided in her nosy little friend, Gareth Canterbury. Canterbury said it was wrong for Belle to write so much and for me to get all of the profits, as though the series wouldn't exist without me. I, the creator of the series, was falling deeper into obscurity. A certain standard of living expected of an authoress of my esteem. I had to sell my imp, my creative drive to keep up appearances. I haven't been motivated to write a single page since. She thumbed at the hole in her neck. It was smaller than Goose's and thus easy to mistake for an earring. Oh, really? Oh, that's what it is. It is a hole. Oh my god. I had all but given up ever seeing my creativity of my glory days ever again. But wouldn't you know, unwittingly, Belle bought my imp. And now there was going to be a stage adaptation of the first story. My story. But the director and Belle insisted on having Belle rewrite it. That was really the final straw. So I dealt with Canterbury as she knew our secret, and then I dealt with Belle. And now I don't need a single thing in this house to survive, and fire has really done me quite a few favors lately. Why not one more? This was the imp. The oven imp stood in the doorway, flame and iron bearing the only exit. This rental imp just became unstable. It lost control and burned the whole mansion down. And tragically, none of you made it out. A shame we didn't catch that it was unstable when it killed Canterbury. What a shame too that I will have to rewrite the script myself, now that Belle's gone. But it will tie the whole narrative up neatly. And an unhinged imp, an unfortunate fire, but no one to blame. And the public loves a neat and tidy story. Oh my god, I guess we're at loss of words. Lupin whistle in admiration. Lady, that is a wild story, sure. But you're forgetting one thing. We're not just going to stand around and let you kill us. Goosey, get her! Goose drew a gun from their side and held it a lever at Vance. You seem to be forgetting about the second imp, which is just as dangerous. The little knife. The razor-thin knife imp sliced deeply through Goose's hand, and they recoiled, dropping the gun and clutching the wound. Ow. Vance laughed and held her own imp aloft. First, I shall reclaim my creative drive. Then I will claim your lives. And then I will reclaim my career. Harold felt his stomach lurch. It wasn't the merely self-obsessed fear of social discomfort this time, but a sudden terror for the safety of everyone, every person he'd locked inside the house. Wait! When we entered the house, Belle mentioned that she hadn't been feeling well, And when Goose stole the imp, Belle was full of energy. While Goose was suddenly stricken ill, that imp is dangerously full of spite and envy. That must have been what made Belle and Goose sick. If you return it to yourself right now, you might not be able to withstand... Oh no. Vance laughed. Don't be absurd. I have it back where it belongs, and not you nor anyone else will be able to take it from me. Once I have my creative drive back, I will return to the height of my writing ability. How could I, the greatest author of the modern era, be envious of anyone else? And with that, Vance lined the thin spike up against the hole under her ear and drove it straight into her neck. Oh no. Oh, it's turning green. Bad. With it reunited to her, she seemed to lose her balance and crumple to her knees. I forgot how this used to feel. I tried to warn you. Imps are complicated, and yours is filled with so much envy. It could poison anyone. But this should be all I needed. To have the same creative drive Belle had. Vance moaned, trying to focus enough to direct the rental imps in her defense. She probably had no idea this thing was even yours. The cabinet was mostly just fake junk. And she probably would have gotten rid of it if she knew it was what was making her so sick lately. Dia, help me tie her up. What? You just assume I have ropes on me? I mean, I do. But it's a rude thing to assume. An hour later, as the sun began to rise over Belle's mansion, Lupin and Goose were the first to make a swift exit out of one of the windows, without so much as a farewell. The other guests left more conveniently, if you can call heading home after harassment for answers by belligerent police conventional. The police cuffed Vance and agreed to bring her in, pending a more thorough check of all the facts. As she was led past Harold and Faraday, she chuckled. You think this was a loss for me? But even if they take me in for a while, I'll still come out on top. Without Belle's notes, who do you think they'll be turning to write that script? Who are they going to consult about the director of the series? Who will write the next story? Soon everyone will know that I wrote the first story. Full creative control. It's my series now. The pair watched her go, her gleeful laugh fading away as she was taken out the door. That sounds bad. That's still a stupid voice I made. That sounds about right for the level of justice in this city. Disgusting. If the chain does publish the next story, I'm sure as hell not going to read it. While Harold gathered up his things, Faraday slumped over on the couch. Hey, next time you're going to a party, remind me that I hate them. How about I remind you of this? Nobody invited you in the first place. Faraday rolled over. Do you at least still have a solicitor? Some kind of lawyer? There's got to be something else we can do, so that Vance doesn't get her way. Oh sure. I'll just hire a lawyer to help Belle's memory. With all the money she didn't pay with for this evening. Alright, he didn't get paid. Faraday pressed his face into the cushion. We could pull a Lupin and help ourselves to payment. Harold sighed. We could probably get away with it, but it just wouldn't feel right even. But oh, that thing probably latched onto him or something. I can't start working even on that. I have to get my script back from where I hid it. I worked too hard for this all to be nothing. I took this one the first time. Is this Belle's words, maybe? Can't stop working even though I have to get my script back from where I hid it. I worked too hard for this all to be nothing. Maybe this one? Ah! Harold dropped his bag and clutched at his arm. Hanging off of his sleeve. That little, the little black thing. Was Bernadette Bell's imp. You little rascal. When I have finished finding that script, I'm going to seal you away. Right? What? Harold opened up his bag and dangled the little thing above it. Nothing. It's simply Bell's imp again. It got me with one of those cursed jabs. No, before that, you said Bell's script? Yes, it's trying to get me to... Harold stopped and the imp hopped up onto his arm. It gave a questioning look. Oh, I think I understand. Bell's imp was made from her desire to continue working. Belle was obsessed with finishing her script when she died. And without Belle around, it seems to need to compel someone else to complete the job. The imp hopped a little, seeming to reach for his hand. Harold lifted a finger, and without a second thought, he pressed his fingertip down against one of the sharp spines. The director needs this script, or the play can't go on. I can't rest even when I'm dead. I need to go get the script from where I hid it in the office. This is how we make money. Harold was halfway out the door before Faraday could hop to his feet and follow. The imp led him upstairs to Bell's office. Moving his sore hands along the side of the desk, Harry felt around and found a secret compartment. It slid open with little resistance. They pulled out a large document, all handwritten in blue ink. Faraday gripped Harold's shoulder. She must have suspected something. Does it look like it's usable? Faraday slipped through carefully. He was quiet for a time, taking it in. Olive? This rewrite fixes all of Vance's mistakes in the first story. I'm sure people are going to like it. Vance is probably going to scream her head off when she finds out. Hehehe, serves her right. I can't believe something good finally happened tonight. We can give this to Myers and the directors and everything will... Shh! I'm reading. 3 months later. Happy ending! In Harold's stray imp-infested home. Harold and Faraday were dressed in their best yet again. Faraday looked down at the 2 tickets in his hand. All that stress and hard work. And she didn't even bother to send us free tickets. At least we managed to get enough money together for them. You think you can handle this? It's the premiere, so there are going to be a lot of notable people here. For one night. I promised to ignore them all. Faraday wasn't sure that Harold could keep to that promise, but he appreciated the effort. You know, I heard an imp lost control in the theater last month. It'd be just our luck to run into that one on our one night out. I'm going back to bed. Harold turned around and plodded away. Like hell you are! Get back here! I'm letting my legs go limp. I'll drag you if I have to, you lousy bastard. I earned this damn date. Oh, they're going on dates. True end. You earned a true ending. And they're going on a date. They made up. Thank you, Alexis Royce. It's Alexis Royce, Camden Bayfield. I was location photographies. It was photographies. I guess, if I understand it. This text is very fast. A lot of people working on it. Okay. Maybe with rent pie. Special thanks to the Minnesota Stafford Hill House. Very nice. So it was photographs and then they did a filter maybe. Very pretty. I wonder what would have happened if you picked the wrong person. Yeah, that's a good question. And I think I saved at a moment where I can't test it. I can't go back and test it, guys. I'm sorry. I flipped up there. Ah, my god, but we did it. And then we get all of these pictures of characters and stuff. And you can see like... Okay, so I guess they really they went into some type of house and they can take pictures and stuff. And then the filters and then the characters are drawn. Oh. They're different faces. And all the different backgrounds. So this furnace is like real? That's crazy. and they just picked out like, that's good settings, and yeah, they hugged her from after a hard scene. Music room. We got all of the music. Can listen to that. Dev notes. Hey, thank you for playing our game. This was initially made as a 1-month game jam entry, and we wanted it to feel like the first case in a game with multiple mysteries. The art was all done with watercolor and fountain pen, then scanned into the computer. The backgrounds were a combination of photograph and traditional watercolor. So they added some watercolor to give them a colorized photograph look. So it wasn't even a filter. Also, all the imps have their own rules and ideas, and it would be fun to write about them. I'm a sucker for monsters that represent... Well, what did you think the imps represented? A part of a human? Or emotions and stuff? Hello, Lena Blake. I am good. We just finished the game. Please let us know if you enjoyed the case of the serialized killer. We already have more episodes that we'd like to make, and next up would be an investigation on a pirate ship. With pirates also happen to be Howley's moms. They're great. Yarr. She looks... They look good. They look good. Nice. Yeah, I had a little bit of, like, an inkling feeling that, you know, you could definitely do more out of this game and this idea. That's fun. And the spider there. I hate spiders. Yeah. I hate spiders. References. That's like... I didn't even look at this. Well, it was all self-voicing. We could have listened to voices. Oh, I didn't have to read everything. I don't know. Roll back side, disable left, right, skip unseen text after choices, transition. Cool. Oh well, that was the case of the serialized killer. And I went well over time. They said 3 hours, and I was like, yeah, maybe I could do it. And it's 3 hours and 40 minutes. Yep. Sounds about right. Well, I am on... Don't try to eat my Christmas stuff, kid. Usually games take a longer time for me because I'm very thorough. So that's why, you know. Let's go back to just chatting. And let's see. Gotta fix this here. Transition! It would be fun to see what happened if you picked the wrong murderers. I did unfortunately save after, so I don't think I can do it easily. But it's not too hard either way. If I would go back myself and, you know, just fly through. Just let it fly through, you know. Oh. Play the music. There we go. Christmas music. Christmas lo-fi. But yeah, it was a fun game. I did get a bit tired in the beginning because there was so much like introduction. Of course, if I had paid more attention, I guess there's probably like some, you know, some details and stuff that you could take from the beginning. Also some detail, like I tried to remember the conversations, and people were like, you know, shooting shots at each other a lot. It could become a bit confusing. How's your day going so far? It's going good, Lina. I'm getting closer to the end of the day. Actually, it's getting later. It's just 9:45, so I'm going to bed. You love playing this game on streams? Right now we're doing the Choose Wisely Festival, as you can see a little logo. Oh, let's see. Where am I? They're right there. We got a Choose Wisely Festival logo there. So this is all part of a Choose Wisely Festival logo. So yeah, I usually do a bit of a ramble in the end of a stream. to finish things off and stuff. But first of all, thanks to everyone that joined. I hope you enjoyed the game. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. As I said, it was a lot of reading in the beginning. It was a little bit tiresome. My voice and throat is very tired now because it was so much reading. But it was also very enjoyable. I liked the character. I liked the narrative. I had a little bit of trouble reading some things, and like the English words were... Some of them were a bit difficult for me, but you know, we try our best, and maybe I learned some new words and pronunciations today. But yeah, I like the characters. I like the story. I really got into like the two main characters, Harold and F something. His name Faraway. His name, yeah. The two main characters, they were fun, and I liked the little squabbles and stuff. And of course, there was a tiny hint of romance in there, which was nice. I always like romance. Cool. Well, I usually play Minecraft when I am free from my work. Okay, you're a Minecraft player. Yeah, I'm playing some Minecraft at the moment. On next Tuesday, I think I will get back into some streaming of some Minecraft. Probably. We're trying to build towards like a big group to probably try to beat the Ender Dragon. What's your plan for Christmas Day? Oh, I actually don't really have plans. I know that one of the days my mother and her spouse is gonna come by and we're gonna eat some food and stuff. A little bit of holiday celebration there. Otherwise, I will, you know, spend it with my cats and probably play some games and stuff. Maybe I will stream or record some games. Yay! Now the cats are waiting for food and some playtime, and then to get to bed. What's your plan, Lena, for Christmas? But yeah, I'm gonna check a little bit. I have never done a raid, so while I talk, I might try and look into that. See how that works. Just to try it out, do a little bit. They call it a raid and run. So you raid someone and then you run. But yeah, it was an interesting game overall, and figuring out who the culprit was difficult. The only thing that gave it away in the end for me was what Vance basically said, like, oh, I will make her like, I will keep her legacy going and stuff, or something like that. And that like, even if it didn't really pinpoint that much, it kind of just gave me that gut feeling of like, it's her. But then I started, you know, overthinking, and all of the details actually did paint a lot of, like, you know, maybe the Fae and the others did have some things in it, and like, we shouldn't jump too fast to conclusions. I don't have anything planned specific yet, just planning to relax. That sounds nice too. You know, what I usually have done on some of my Christmases when I've been like alone and just with my cats and stuff, you know, I do a little bit of some Christmas things, like maybe Christmas movie or my favorite movie or something, and enjoy that, and then have a little bit of like some snacks and maybe something good to eat. It could be Christmas food or just something else. Ule! Yeah! Ule makes his appearance. He knows it's time for Din Din. Din Din and Play. By the way, I have an idea for you as well. If you don't mind, can I share it? Yeah, just share it here. Or jump into the Discord server, I guess, and you can share it there also. Otherwise, today, I mean, on my channel, we also have I released a gameplay video of Murky, tried the demo out of that game, and that game is like really a cartoony, very funny one. So that's a very funny video to watch. I'm also gonna do a little. I'm gonna post a little thing where if people watch the video and actually pay attention, you can count how many times I did a fart sound with my mouth. It's so stupid, but I noticed it while I was editing. I noticed that I was doing a lot of fart sounds because some of the sounds sounded a little bit farty. So I was like, I'm doing a lot of fart sounds. That could be a funny thing. Oh, Lena. Basically, I am a digital artist and I work for the streamers since 45 years on commissions. I am not interested, Lena. I'm doing my own art and I do my own stuff. So I will immediately say that no, you don't need to share anything with me and I'm not interested in any commissions or anything. I will immediately tell you that no, thank you. I wish you good luck with finding others to work with. I don't want anything. Tomorrow, the plan is to release a video of the Death Knight show, which I am, I'm lagging a bit behind, so I hope I will manage to. I haven't recorded the game yet, so I need to record it and edit it. So it might be late, or it's a very short demo, and I might be able to, film it and get it together and release it tomorrow in time. But I do have some appointments also. I got a meeting and I got some applications to do. So yeah, it's a bit of tight. It's a bit tight, but you never know. Maybe everything goes super smoothly. Otherwise, we also have the stream tomorrow with Liber Smoke and Mirrors, which is now a game that goes more into the dark side of things again. It's a bit of a darker narrative game. And all of these games are a part of the Choose Wisely Festival, a celebration of branching narrative games. So I'm doing a whole playlist of all of these streams and videos, and we'll be able to share that around later for people that want to watch just a lot of narrative games. And then we have the stream schedule. If you can't join tomorrow, we still have 3 more streams that are already planned in for these narrative games. Saturday would be a very fun one if people are able to join, where we are going to play a game where apparently you can connect it to the Twitch chat, so a better world, and the chat will be able to join you in making decisions. You can make decisions A or B, and we can make a better world, and it has pretty good reviews so far. I'm hoping some people will be able to join and we can make some decisions. Other than that, we have on Sunday Imperial of Grace, and then on Monday Psycho Sleuth. And I'm gonna look at the rating now on Twitch if we can actually join one who might be playing Psycho Sleuth right now. Great stream, I am sleeping now. Good night. Yeah, good night, Dix. Go to sleep. Thank you for joining and thank you for staying so long. And have a good night's sleep. I will talk with you later and see you later. And then for videos, if I'm not lagging behind too much, I'm gonna try and release the Death Knight show tomorrow. Then on Saturday we have. This is so small for me. Saturday we have Decadent Air. On Sunday we have Do Not Buy This Game, and on Monday we have Before They Catch Us. So I'm looking forward to, and hopefully I will be able to record and edit all of these games in a proper manner. It's been going well so far. So let's hope, let's see, let's hope. But that's it for this stream. It was a heavy reading, this one. Oh my god. But it was also good. It was good. I liked it. I really liked it. And it's also a free game. It's a free game on Steam. I'm thinking I should make some links maybe. It's a free game on Steam. So, you can just jump in and have fun with it. Now I did the whole I did the whole game though. But you know, I will still do a link. The Case of the Serialized. They also have an art book, by the way. Yeah, you can buy an art book for like €5, $5, where you can look at all of their art. And I thought the art was really beautiful. I really like, you know, watercolors, and I'm very fascinated about how they did the backgrounds. It wasn't filter as I thought, but it was photographs, and then they added watercolor to it. So that's one way to do it. And it definitely looked really nice. Overall, a very like beautiful game. I also like the map that they had created from like the top-down view and stuff. And yeah, it was a good game. It was a good game. I'm a bit tired in my head, so if my words doesn't live really up to par for giving good constructive criticism, I apologize. I'm gonna write like an email. I'm gonna write an email with my thoughts about the game afterwards and give them a proper feedback and thoughts and love. Let's see. I'm also gonna do a link. Right, that was the thing I haven't put the correct link on it. I need to go to my studio, and I need to get the link for the game. Let's see here. We got this. Copy that. I will just do latest video. Murky. Watch here. I don't know how if this links like really work or anything, but you know, I'll throw them out there. So if you want to go and watch Murky immediately now, you can click on that link. Otherwise, let's see how this works out. We can check YouTube first, because I usually end the YouTube stream before the Twitch stream. I guess this is the weird part with having 2 streams at once and also doing raids. Let's see here. I don't think I still have the ability to do a raid on YouTube. Or maybe I just haven't learned. I still don't know how to do it. Yeah, maybe I just need to check on how you actually do that. I think they said something about like, you know, you go into the settings of the stream and then you send people to another stream that way or something. So I don't think I can still, I can't yet do it. So we'll end this stream here. It's already like 10 here in Sweden. And I think most people that I know, at least, they are not streaming or awake now. So we'll end the stream on YouTube first. So let's do it like this. Thank you guys for joining. I will see you in another video, in another stream, or in the Discord channel. If you do join the Discord channel, it's a small and modest one at the moment, but you know, everything is growing with time. The Twitch channel, the Discord channel, and everything. So take care, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.